Oh, yeah. Yeah, the twins. It's a big deal. Oh, you're having twins. Congratulations. That's exciting. That's so cool. I don't have a twin. I have a brother, but no twin. But what I've heard is that, or like just from watching twins on the internet, that especially if you have, well, it depends on the twins. If they're like fraternal twins, it's kind of hit or miss whether they're going to be like the best of friends. But I've heard that identical twins get along extremely well. Oh, that'd be kind of rough though. Imagine if like identical twins like didn't get along very well. So then you have somebody who's like goes to places and uses your like ID or whatever and is like, yeah, hi, I'm this person. I'd like to cancel my insurance, my like house insurance policy or something out of nowhere, and like really destroys their life when they get older because of a petty spat. Versus your fraternal twins. Like I've a friend of mine who is a fraternal twin. So he has a sister, and they are very different. And it's not that they don't get along. They're just really different people. Just don't directly, they don't hang out that often. They have very different lives. You stream after a Saturday stream? That's right. Happy with girls? Hell yeah, dude. You should, it's going to be exciting because you're going to have kids no matter what. The most important thing you can do, Lomslinger, because you've got kids on the way, okay? This is something I need you to make sure you take this to heart, all right? So I'm going to put this on me because I think this is an important lesson. So you got kids that are on the way. This is exciting. What you need to make sure that you do is you put a passive interest in what you're doing because you want to like engage with them while you're doing your own stuff. Maybe you're like playing video games, maybe you're farming DDO or doing something else. You want to put a passive interest in that into your kids, because when they turn the age of like 3, 4, 5, they're in the point where they're like, I want to do what mommy and daddy are doing, and they want to like actively participate. That's when you sit them down in front of like like snowfall and sunlight. And you go, okay, cool. Here you go. How about here's a cool adventure you can go on. And you teach them how to go through, get to the end chest, loot the chest, and see if they get a heart shard. And then you go, oh, how about you do that one again? And then you train them slowly to start farming all your games for you. So that way, before they figure out that they're being used for farming, you get a couple of years where they're like, oh, I want to try. And you're like, no problem. Here you go. And you supervise them as they farm your quests for you while you do whatever. That's the real trick. Don't forget to do that. It's very important. It's very important. That definitely happened to me as well. Started kind of late. I did start kind of late, yeah. I haven't gotten the damn word scribe pendant. Yeah, that's why you have kids, so they can ransack for you. The only downside to kids is sometimes you log in and you have random stuff that's deleted. What's up, Chris? How you doing? How's it going? Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's me, Stream Tom.
Remember, Stream Tom, that in the year of our H_O_R_R_S_E 2011 on this day did the fish hero Fizz come out in League of Legends.
Can you stop reminding me that Fizz came out 14 years ago in League of Legends and that I'm really old? I don't need that reminder every day or every minute of this day. Thank you. Yeah. Because I think I'm like, man, I used to play League of Legends a lot, but that was like so long ago, That was like 5 years ago, right? No, that was like 10 years ago when I used to play a lot of League of Legends, right? No, it wasn't. It was like 13 years ago when I used to play a lot of League of Legends. That one's tough.
Hey, Strim, Brian here.
Yo, what's up?
You know how you stay upright on a bike when the wheels are spinning?
Yeah.
I present the new Wi-Fi Speed Fan.
Okay.
Enhance the stability of your internet with the power of the 3000 revolutions per minute Wi-Fi Speed Fan. The speed of Wi-Fi enhanced by the stability of the now spinning radio waves. Just duct tape your router to my newly patented fan and never lose a packet again when Cloudflare goes down.
That's an excellent question. Would the rotation affect the signal? Probably. Like if you, okay, so obviously if you have a Wi-Fi router on a fan, that's probably not a good idea. But if you had a Wi-Fi transponder where the signal is actually emitting from one of the blades of the fan, and then you spun the fan. So basically, if you like broke open a router and ran it along the wires along the blades, although how would it rotate? How would it rotate if you have a wire connected to it? It's an excellent question. I have no idea. Room for your games? True. Yeah, you can put on 1, maybe 2 Call of Duties with that. Get some more space. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good day. We're going to do some DDO, do some basic stuff. This is the Dark Apostate Monk Falconer that I was running on Saturday. And we're going to be doing some more of that. We're not doing more solo guided playthrough because I just don't feel like it today. That's why. The problem is the wire. Yeah. I don't know how you would get the wire to function. How do you rotate it without the wires? That's an excellent question. Anyway, I don't know. Engineers will figure it out. Feywild R1. Oh shit. I can join a group and have Feywild R1 on party. Let's go. What if the signal gets dizzy? Also a great question. I don't know how it would function if you wrote, because presumably like waves are waves, right? So can you add rotational force to a wave? Yep. Where the fan blade is the antenna. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the antenna where the signal comes out from is the edge of the fan blade, so it gets the maximum amount of rotational force applied to it because it's at the edge of the fan. Because obviously you can't just attach a router to the edge of a fan. 1, the cable just wouldn't work. 2, there'd be too much weight at the edge of a fan, so that it wouldn't be able to spin at the same speed. Or if it is spinning, the rotational force would push it away, so it would never be able to stay there. But if you dismantled it, ran the wires along it, and had the actual transmitter at the edge of the fan, so what is actually transmitting the signal. But again, how would you get that to rotate with cables? That's what I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about this problem. It's interesting. It's an interesting problem. What if the signal gets dizzy? Again, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know if you can apply rotational force to a wave. No, you can apply rotational force to a wave, right? Because that's how you can get destructive interference, because you can have waves of different rotations, and that's how polarized light works, right? Because polarized light have different rotations. But is that based on the frequency of the wave? Man. Rotate already? Yeah, but no. What I'm saying is not that the antenna is rotating, right? I'm saying that the because the antenna has a central section, and then it is rotating the whole antenna. What I am saying is that you have something that is spinning, rotating like a blade. It's like magnitude. The magnitudes are canceling out. Yeah. I think that's how that works. Oh man. Hey, anybody actually keep doing physics past first year physics? Oh, so what's up, patient? How are you doing? How's your day going?
As the battle progresses, the bits grow rapidly into new bridge trolls that join the fight.
Also, fun fact, the falconry attacks that knock down enemies, diving attack strike, works on flying enemies because it's a knockdown, not a trip.
The magically sealed gazebo ahead floats the frosted ceremony for the ritual. 3 bears, Princess. Magical talking bears, no doubt. This is the
an antenna to a Wi-Fi router is able to rotate, just motor anchor the antenna. Interesting.
You've recovered Hearsome's loot for the ritual. You've recovered both the loot and the frosted cerise.
Yeah, I feel like you can. The problem is you can just solve this with math, right? You can just use mathematics to determine like how this is actually going to end up shaping out. But also, part of my brain is like, man, that could make like a good YouTube video. I put my router on like the ceiling fan. You're not using Embrace of Death form? Oh, I did forget that. Yep, thank you. I forgot to do that when you log in.
Approach the portal grove, but a pixie flutters into your path.
She said to make sure you didn't make it to him. I won't let you get near them.
And it's a Dreadhold, and the White Dragon is so much deadlier than the others. Yeah, because it gets the freeze off on you. And there's no way to resist the freeze either. So the idea is you're supposed to like tank swap it. So you have like one guy tanking the dragon, and then you like swap to another person. But if you're doing it solo, you just kind of get frozen, then you're helpless, and the dragon kills you because you're frozen and helpless.
You haven't won yet.
There's nothing you can do there.
You still
I still don't have action boost haste, which makes me sad. Where is action boost haste?
You exit the portal and find yourself in a strange, empty void. Yet that appears to be Lord Arden's.
It took me from full to 20 health before I unfroze. Yeah.
Between you and
Freedom of
Lord
movement and other
Arden
effects, unfortunately, don't stop you from that. I think petrification immunity prevents it,
As Melody the Apothecary the entire
but I'm not
time.
sure.
Cadence prepares for battle.
thrice damned adventurers never know when to quit. I should have seen that you can't trust the pixie to do a hag's work.
Cadence finishes her conjuration. Slimes emanating a frigid mist suddenly appear nearby.
You killed my sister, so I'll have to make
Oh, we're all in?
do with
Nice.
these vile cauldron leftovers. I wouldn't go anywhere near them personally now. Be a dear and die for good this time.
Weakened and
Guess I suppose you know the same stable
Cadence
FOS?
tries
Yeah.
to surrender.
It's fun. Also, fun fact though, Officer Skeleton, the most dangerous of all of those used to be the Black Dragon because there were these acid exploding things, like the acid traps, that would deal a really high amount of damage and just instantly kill people. They would just snap and snap their fingers and pop like a balloon. So it got kind of spooky.
To reverse the curse. First, play the lute.
Wraith? Good.
Grind up the flower's roots.
Yeah, Wraith good. I'm not sure. That's a good
Burn the
question.
roots along with Lord Arden's true name. You play a brief melody on Hearsome's lute. You mash the flower's roots into a pulp with little effort. You set a small blaze. Then
I'm trying to
drop
think.
the
Other than
crushed
that,
roots
and then Blue
Lord
Dragon is
Arden's
honestly not
true
dangerous.
name
However,
into it,
there is a fun, weird
completing
glitch
the
that did
ritual.
exist for a short time.
As the smoke
There was a
rises,
bug in the
Lord
game where the
Arden's
Blue
eyes
Dragon, all of the gold piles on the floor are NPCs, and because all the gold piles are NPCs, I don't know if the bug still exists, but the way that Reaper mode works is that every monster has a chance, or every NPC has a chance to spawn a Reaper based on the Reaper difficulty, which my average is around 2% per skull. So if you do the quest on Reaper 1, you have a 2% chance for every time a monster spawns, there's a chance to also spawn a Reaper. But in R10, that chance is much higher. So if you go in to do that quest on R10, when you unload, you're surrounded by like 50 Reapers because each gold pile is a Reaper.
Those violent, unpredictable creatures of surface.
Yeah, I think they fixed that, but that was still like shortly after Reaper mode came out. I remember doing that with my friends, and that was absolutely amazing.
Brilliantly red apple hangs from one of its branches. The tree itself seems to sigh as you finish your song. Its
I hit this guy with all the shares he wants to share, and I'm like, yeah, no problem.
Drops at your feet. The sprawling courtyard seems deserted.
Pleasure. How fare you, my lady?
Tower looms ahead. Lord Xavier will likely be found inside. Lady White Lily has requested that you find her a snack. A frivolous request, it seems.
Goes to the end quest line though, so I gotta go start ransacking a couple quests. Yeah, or just always just check the auction house. Somebody might have it for you.
Strange consequences.
Game.
This storehouse is
Yes,
occupied
agree.
by a very
Say stone.
looks at you with a big toothy grin and speaks.
Yo, what's up, Tierbior? How you doing? I feel bad because I am gonna break some people's streaks today because I did not stream earlier in the day, and because I had some stuff to do this morning. Well, it's a combination of things. Okay, so number 1, I stayed up till 5 a.m. playing Path of Exile. Number 2, I had things to do this morning. Number 3, when I got home from doing things this morning, I played some Destiny with my brother because he finished work early today, and then I started streaming. So I could have started streaming 2 hours ago, but I chose not to. So it's gonna break some people's hearts, or in specifically their streams. I might have an extra pair. of adamantine knuckles. I can check my bank when I'm done Feywild. Just remind me when I'm getting close to the end of Feywild. And I can check. I probably have an extra one. I'm not going to talk about Path of Exile that much today. That's not true. But just to give you guys a little bit of an insight into how I'm doing, I finished all of my league challenges over the weekend. I got 40 league challenges in this PoE league. I killed all the Ubers. I did all the boss fights. I'm feeling pretty good. So that was exciting for me.
You are faced with an unavoidable battle with the Electro. You have chosen to stay.
So that was not something I do usually each league, but I'm very proud of myself because I managed to actually get it done, which is cool. With what build? Summon Skeletons of Mage's Guardian. Summon Skeletons of Mages is really cool because back in the day when I used to play Diablo 2, so I remember being like a kid, right? And I was like 8 or something. No, I was way older than that. I was like 12. And I got Diablo 2, but I wasn't allowed to play it. I got Diablo 2 for my birthday. But my birthday is in June, but I was not allowed to play it until school was over. But along with the game, I was bought the little strategy guide. So I was like, oh shit, because they had the they called it the battle chest, so it came with the game and the strategy guide together packaged as one. Anyway, so I was like, okay, cool. So I read that book front to back, back to front, front to back, back to front. And Summoner Necro seemed like it was the coolest idea. I'm like, dude, you get to kill guys and then you can resurrect them from the dead, and they're like now yours. Like you own them now and you can like command them to do things. Like that's sick. So I want to play Summoner Necro. But then after I started playing, you got access to Skeleton Mages at 12. And Skeleton Mages, dude, they look so cool. They have like glowy hands, and every time you summon one, you get like a different element. So you have like, you can have like fire mages or cold mages or lightning mages or poison mages. Dude, it's so cool. The problem is, beyond me being 12 and thinking that's really cool, as it turns out, not only are Skeleton Mages really, really, really bad, as in they're like not good and they don't do anything, you have the secondary problem of the elements being random means you can't get any good synergies with them. So it's not like, oh, if I have Skeleton Mages, if I have all fire, I can scale fire. I have all cold, I can scale cold. You can't do that. Now, in theory, in Diablo 2, this is actually a good thing because Diablo 2 has a lot of immunities in the game where it's very common for different monster types to be immune to different effects. Especially when it comes to Hell, every single monster in the game gets one elemental immunity on Hell difficulty. So the idea is like, oh, well, if I have 4 different elements on my Skeleton Mages, then no matter what, I can clear every monster pack. The problem is their damage is so brutally, abysmally low, it just doesn't matter. So 12-year-old and then 13-year-old me figured out that Skeleton Mages are really, really bad in Diablo 2, and it just feels bad, and there's nothing you can really do about it. There's no Skeleton Mage build for doing the end game. Even the few Skeleton builds that actually do go to Hell difficulty just use regular warrior skeletons as fodder for the revived monsters, which are way better. So, yeah. So that was kind of disappointing. Enter Path of Exile. Summon Skeleton of Mages. Literally the same skill. It summons mages, and they are randomly assigned cold, fire, or lightning. But number 1, they're actually scalable and good, which is cool. And number 2, there's actually ways to interact with it. You can force one elemental type using combat focus jewels. So you can be like, oh, I only want fire, and force fire mages as an example, and then scale all the fire damage. On top of that, you can actually scale the damage of minions better. And on top of that, I actually used an item called the Flesh Crafter, which makes it so that as long as my minions have energy shield, they ignore elemental resistances. So now it doesn't matter which type I'm summoning, so I can have like all of the elements, which is cool because it's really pretty. Like visually, you see all the different colors of like fire, ice, and lightning just constantly going out. And so that's cool. I just like the visuals of it. And yeah, so it was fun. Being able to go through and get my summon skeletons and mages and then clear all the Ubers was awesome. And not only did I clear all the Ubers, I also carried my friends through the Ubers as well. So I would like get to the Uber boss fights, and then I would tell people to like, okay, they would be waiting, and I'd be like, all right, jump in, and then I got everybody their Ubers. However, there were a couple things. One, I didn't realize this was a change that was done to Path of Exile at some point. The Uber bosses, their health is now dynamic. It didn't used to be the case. So you could go into like a boss fight, and once you started it and started fighting the boss, then if somebody else joined, the health wouldn't increase because the boss has already been engaged. They changed that. It is now dynamic. If a new player enters, the health increases by 100%. It still is the same percentage, but it's now at 100% more health, which I did not realize. So the first Uber I decided to do was Uber Maven, an Uber I have never beaten before on any build. And during the final fight, I was like, okay, we're on the final phase of Maven. You guys can come in when she spawned. All of my friends came in, and then I got to deal with 5 times health Uber Maven in the final phase. Because it dynamically updated. Needless to say, I still beat it because I'm a god. So I feel good about that. That was a huge accomplishment. I felt so good. But it was a lot of patience. I did the memory game like 6 times in a row, where I'm like, okay, focus, focus, focus. I can feel my heart beating in my chest. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. But yeah, good times. Good fight. Yeah, overall, I'm really proud of myself. It was really fun. If anybody's interested, I can probably actually share my path of building. If anybody wants to copy my build in the future, I might make like a recap video of what I've done so far in Path of Exile, but for something like that. But yeah, it's been good. It's nothing crazy, but yeah, I'm really happy. I beat all the bosses, I did all the things, and now my favorite part, I'm done with all the challenges, all 40, which means I don't have to play Path of Exile anymore. I can start playing other video games, which is good, because some of you guys may or may not be aware. There's the new Fae event coming up soon in DDO. The Fae event is quite exciting because it's going to be basically like a hardcore style event, so I'll be making some builds for you guys, and we'll be talking about it a lot. Hopefully we'll be getting information about the Lamania, previewing some of the event. There should be a Lamania preview this week if there is going to be one, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that will happen. And then other than that, I am also excited because the new Lord of the Rings Online expansion is also releasing in a couple of weeks. And the new Destiny expansion is also releasing in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I did the full 40. I was originally planning to do the full 40, but I started doing the Ubers, and I was like, oh shit, I can do all of these.
Swings his torch too close to the powder keg, which explodes in a shower of sparks.
The only one that I actually found, like, difficult to the point where I was getting irritated was Uber Cirrus. The Cirrus boss fight is probably the worst boss fight in Path of Exile. Or Cyrus, whatever. You find any mirrors? No. I have like 15,000 hours in Path of Exile and I've never found a mirror.
But nothing in the deal says
it's not even that. It's just like, I don't even mind the maze. It's the stupid, dumbass storms. The number of times where I would like have to wait over a whole minute for storms to move out of the way just so I could get to the boss. Ugh. So dumb. But no mirrors. Actually, fun fact, this league I found no mirrors. So I got my 40 challenges done, killed all the Ubers, did everything. I found no mirrors, and I found no T0 uniques. Zip. Oh, I'm a rogue.
As conceived in 1632 by Portuguese printing press operator André Felipe, boxing was a gentleman's game, in which 2 men would square off and regale each other with stories monotonous for days on end, until one of them fell to the ground from boredom or exhaustion. Over the next few years the new sport developed a respectable following of a few hundred local socialites. Ironically, it was Felipe's son, André Felipe, who developed what he called the punching strategy.
Good old André Felipe. Thank you, Bobby, for returning to the stream again for reasons that I still don't understand why anybody comes here, but I'm grateful that you did for 46 months. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys don't know what Bobby is referencing, you have to play the legendary video game Frog Fractions.
Creatures spring up around you, rushing to defend the windmill. The strange gemstone seems to be protecting this creature from
that phase when it came. Yeah, the maze is really annoying. It wasn't too big of a deal for me. The main issue I ran into was the die beam was also a bit of a problem, where he says die, and then you die to the beam. Oh, crap. Get up.
Another gemstone cracks, and the windmill shakes violently.
Ooh. Yeah, Uber Cyrus, definitely the worst of all the Uber boss fights. Uber Maven was like pretty fun. My favorite part about Uber Maven is that there's the balls that come out from the main monster, or like the side monster thing, where it creates like the ground that you can't stand on. And during that, basically bouncing them so that way they're tailing you the entire time during each phase, and then you leave them on the outside of the arena so you never actually lose any space. That one's fun.
A reward. She continues.
So yeah, Uber Maven's pretty good. Uber Elder is just such a mess.
Somehow, I fear the culprit is still nearby.
The fact that in Uber Elder, Shaper does his ball phase during the fight is like, man, it's good. You just gotta make sure you're really paying attention. Also, what's up, Rachel Letters? How you doing? Quick question. The old Reese event, winter event got shut down a few years ago. Should we just throw away all the scrolls in winter mode since they're useless now? I think so. I'm not sure. I threw those away a long time ago because I think they're just generally useless, because I guess the idea that you can add like, there was like some of them where it wasn't like you could add them to cosmetics and you could have the extra stats, but like the buffs were really, really minor. I think they're just useless in general. Like your build isn't going to live or die based on having an extra d6 of cold damage on an attack or something. That being said, I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to come back. I don't think you can still craft it. So yeah, I would recommend getting rid of them. Unless you want to keep it for like posterity's sake. Like for example, I have a bunch of garbage that is just cool that I don't ever want to get rid of. I have like old items that have stat distributions you can't get anymore, or have like items with weird text. So I won't blame anybody for keeping like the nostalgic garbage. I do enjoy keeping those things around.
You have arrived at Bitterspine Palace.
Like when I talk about the reincarnation, and I say that people need to delete everything in their TR caches, I'm not saying you should delete all of like the really cool items that has taken you years and years and years to like that you've been holding on to years because they're just something that holds like a strong memory. I'm talking about just like the garbage, like your green steel weapons. Like green steel weapons aren't special, they're not magical, and they are almost outclassed by like Morning Lord weapons or Barovian weapons, which you get for free. So like you can hold on to them. You don't need to. There's just garbage. In contrast to like, I don't know, like old ancient items with ancient stats.
Says the Baroness. A connection in the summer court sent word.
Do I have a way to confront this guy? Do I have spellcraft? No. Spot? No. Concentration? No. It's like intimidate, diplomacy, and spellcraft. I don't have any of those.
Osha loathes extravagant parties such as this one. He's likely to be avoiding the crowd somewhere. Perhaps out on the windward.
With that on, won't delete that weapon. Oh yeah, like I said, if you want to keep that, like I'm a big fan of that. I like keeping the nostalgic, like, ooh, look at this thing and how it is in the past. Like I like that stuff. But I just, when it comes to like the power of it, it's the same reason why I have my Shard of the Red Dragon, or sorry, Shard of the Sword of Shadow. I still have a Shard of the Sword of Shadow. Because it's just cool. Like that item was really, really rare and you can't get it anymore. So I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna hold on to it. You can't get another shard of the Sword of Shadow, so I don't want to delete it. It's only one space in my shared crafting storage that has 200 or 2045 spaces. And given that I have like 600 extra space right now, I don't stress about it.
The ice spider shatters and dissolves into a snowy mist. Now that the creature has been destroyed, the head waiter will unlock.
Somebody AFK in the opening. Is this the classic AFK and Frosty Reception, which happens every single TR? Every TR, dude. Without fail. There's always a guy who AFKs in Frosty Reception. Every single TR. Oh, man. Every time. Well, this is a good opportunity to show you guys my Path of Exile characters. Let me load up Path of Exile. Give me a sec. Fucking serious. It's because they're AFK. I don't even know where they are. Isn't that amazing? Here, let me show you my cool character. All right. So we're still on DDO. We're waiting for the guy, AFK guy, to come back. So I just want to show off my character.
Into the snowy garden. A peculiar patch of grass grows in its center, along with a flower that emanates
are we here?
magical, chilly aura. The flower crumples away into nothing.
Oh, they made it. Nice. Okay, great. Anyway, oh, I can't actually show off my Path of Exile character because Path of Exile is broken and I can't display it. All right, well, we'll try that later. I'll show it off later. The guy actually came back from being AFK.
Shockwave rocks the palace.
Oh, we'll show it off later. You suppose code gather your party? True. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like,
to your surprise,
maybe it's just people, when they start Feywild, there's like a certain type of medication that a lot of people take that is similar. And so they begin the Feywild chain, then they take their medication right before they start. And then because it's like a commonly taken medication, it causes a certain subset of people to get drowsy. And then they suddenly have to be like, oh, midway through this chain, I gotta take a break right at Frosty Reception. That's when I gotta go AFK.
Lady Lazuli informs you that there were only 2 Eladrin nobles she didn't recognize in attendance tonight.
Discord overlay enabled? I do.
Snowdrift.
I didn't have this problems yesterday. That's why I'm like kind of weirded out.
So Snowdrift tells you that Lord Beryl was last seen slinking off to the kitchen in search of a fresh bottle of wine.
Bear in mind, I'm also okay with the idea of waiting for people to complete sections of quests. Some people really hate gather points because they just don't like having to wait for others. I actually don't mind it. I think that it's a good idea to encourage players to have to wait for their teammates so people get to see cool set pieces or cool monsters or cutscenes or things like that. So I personally don't have an issue with that generally as a concept. And yeah, I think that there's nothing wrong with asking people to wait a little bit.
Lord Beryl says
it's exclusively the fact that if people go AFK, you're stuck.
Speaking with her.
That's it.
Is the next step in
the only problem.
This plant puzzle.
Yeah, I'll show off my Path of Exile characters later. I have some exciting things I want to share. Yo, what's up, Big? How you doing? How are ya? Because again, I hit 40/40. I'm done. So I'm done. It's over. And then I spent all my money on a new project.
Refuses to budge.
AFK and Ghosts of Perdition.
Blocking it from the other side.
Yeah, it's, well, I mean, similar thing, except there's 2 AFK points. Imagine somebody's like, oh, okay, no problem. Here, sorry, I was AFK, guys. I'll come to the section. They show up after waiting 5 minutes. They open the first area, then they go AFK again.
An Eladrin noble stands at the base of the stairs that lead to the Prince of Frost's quarters. This must be Dame Allegra, the mysterious.
Took it off work? Nice.
Dame Allegra saw a hooded stranger.
I guess if we want to switch to story quests, should play solo or play with friends. Yeah,
you to follow her there.
I've talked about this before. I don't know the solution to this problem, but it is like a pretty substantial problem in DDO of, like, if you want to be able to experience and read all the story, you kind of do have to play, like, with direct friend groups or play by yourself. That playing with pugs is just not the answer to that problem, which sucks because a lot of people want to have the magical experience of finding other adventures and going on like a team, but like, you know, it's the age of the internet. People are already going to be familiar with stuff, even when stuff first comes out, right? And this happens to me where like a new dungeon, or I'll be playing a game and a new dungeon will come out and I want to experience it, but it doesn't matter because other people have already played it. So like, for example,
that's enough taunting for one day.
I play Destiny a lot, and in that game they'll have like each season new events will show up, and so, you know, everything comes out at 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you're somebody who is like doing an activity during the day, like work, you come home from work and then you play with your unemployed friend. They've already done the event and they're like, oh, we actually do this, we do this, we do this, we do this, and then you don't have the opportunity to discover the event because it's already been kind of figured out, if that makes sense.
The bloom stays in the palm of your hand.
So yeah, it's just one of those things.
Return to the Baroness to tell her what happened.
And Tender Embrace, question what Yusuf said build with? Yeah, I have a build that uses Tender Embrace.
Tells you he is in your debt for thwarting the Night Hag's scheme. And now that you have the frost,
the free endurance charges and 30% more life recovery is really, really nice.
The Prince of Frost glowers down at you.
Yes? Why have you come here? Out with it!
The Prince of Frost.
When Zergers join my LFM, so I started putting the LFM not Zerg. Oh yeah, that's the way to do it. Just say no Zerg. And then, fun fact, big, if somebody joins your LFM on no Zerg and they start Zerging, right click them, or like in game, so right click them, or add them to your ignore list. And when they're on ignore, so you squelch them, that person, you don't have to kick them, squelch them. If you squelch them, they can't join your LFM. They get auto declined.
Frost waves his hand, and a trio of portals open.
So if you have no Zerg in the title, somebody joins and they start Zerging, then you can just squelch them, and then next time if they ever try to join your LFMs, they literally can't ever again.
At Rhyme's refrain, one of the
They're now blocked from joining your groups.
He demands that
it's actually one of the ways that like you can technically blacklist people. So, which is to say, let's say there's somebody who is like really not fun or friendly and makes a lot of raid groups or group experiences not very fun. So an easy example is, let's say you're running a raid and there's a fighter who joins, and the fighter has defensive stance turned on, so they're generating extra aggro, and as a result they're turning the boss onto the melees and taking aggro off of the tank and killing melees. So you explain to this person, hey, can you turn off your stance? And they refuse to turn off their stance. Not just like, oh, they don't speak the same language, they're getting confused. They might even be like, no. So you go, okay, you have to. And they go, no. And then, because they're like, this is how my character works, don't tell me how to play. You then, as the raid leader, squelch that person, and now that person has been soft blocked from several raids. Because they can't get in anymore. Because you have to work together.
The one who bring me the matriarch's head gets an extra share of gold!
The hunters have caught up to the injured matriarch, but she is in no condition to fly.
Yeah, there's lots of people, exactly.
Your words, then gives a single.
Well, the argument I have, the argument that I have against when people are like, oh, well, if I block people or if I squelch people, then I won't have anyone to play with. Well, yeah, but the alternative is you'd be playing with people you don't want to play with. Just squelch them. Solve your problem.
Then he attacks. The Fomorians have been defeated.
Is that based on a real experience? Oh, yeah, dude. We host a fair amount of pug raids. And again, when it comes to pug raids, the thing you have to remember is that, like, there's an expectation that a lot of people don't understand how to raid and don't understand, like, all of the rules and what you should or shouldn't do. And that's totally fair. So, you know, if somebody joins your raid and they don't have the experience, so they don't realize that, like, oh, defensive stance is a bad idea, you go, hey, are you able to turn off defensive stance? It's killing people. Most people can intuit that and go, oh, okay, I should do this. And they can, like, put that through their brain. And some people, again, that's the reason why I use the example of don't tell me how to play. Some people are very rude and want to basically play a single player game where their decisions don't affect other people. The unfortunate reality is when you join a 12-person raid, you have 11 other people in the group.
Paging through this well-worn
and
jungle, you learn that the
you know,
bandit captain has a private stash
it's
of treasure
rude
hidden
to negatively
somewhere in
impact the
Athens.
experience of
It would certainly
other
be a
people
shame if it was
because you
even
don't feel like
fun.
clicking a single button on your keyboard.
Now that you've done these 3 favors for the Prince of Frost, perhaps he'll return 1.
Like, you have to understand is that the people, like, the people that run raids, so again, I'm going to use like my guild example because we do a lot, like a fair amount of pug raiding and have like random people join or host pug raids for a whole bunch of people. It is very, very common that we get people who join the raid group who have no experience and have never done it before. And that's totally okay. In fact, dying in a raid is not going to get you squelched from the raid or like kicked out of a raid group or anything, or like, you know, being in the wrong place or doing something wrong. None of those things are going to get you in trouble. Like, if you're not very good, that's also not going to get you in trouble. It's if people are saying, hey, don't do this because it causes X, Y, or Z problem, and you're choosing to do that after being informed, that's what's going to get you in trouble. Aw. Okay. I think I'm leading the Feywild group now.
Snow drifts into the open.
I'm in fact leading the Feywild group.
Abandoned lodge. You spot here some
Feywild R1.
through the gate.
Because bear in mind, it might sound really elitist to be like, you're going to kick somebody out of a group or blacklist them because they're just not listening to exactly what you want. And the answer is yes. If you're going to wipe the raid and waste everyone's time for no reason, literally no reason, then yes, you will get removed from it.
Very enthusiastic about it.
On the forums, it's what if DDO created an antiquities NPC in the market that you can trade in old items and things, such as the Rezia event items. So it's an interesting idea, but the main problem with that, Quantifel, is that they would have to basically take the time to go through and then give you, like, make sure that they have all of the old items included, which they're going to miss stuff. So then it'll be constantly people being like, hey, you missed this item. What about this old item? What about this old item? And then what do you get for it? Like, okay, let's just say it's magic. You snap your fingers. All the old items are just included. All the things. What do you get? What are we trading for? Almost done Feywild already? Yeah. I'm very fast. Fourth Lifer's too fast? Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the speed. It's all good. No, our fearless leader was a fourth lifer, so they level up too quick. That's the thing. SSG, they actually, you guys don't understand, they are actually doing a soft nerf to the game. When SSG decided to lower the experience requirements for the first 8 past lives that you do, actually it was a nerf to the game and a nerf to the players, because actually, as it turns out, when you level faster, it means you do fewer quests. And actually, if you do fewer quests, it means you earn fewer DDO points, which means SSG, by reducing the XP required, is actually nerfing DDO point players gained by the players, which is actually a direct nerf to everybody, and we should be up in arms about this. They need to raise the XP back to make sure people get more DDO points per past life. Who's with me? Right, you guys? They need to make the XP higher so we get more DDO points per past life. Using winter fest or something reasonable can be added. Yeah, it just sounds like it's a lot of work for a very, very small benefit.
A massive figure looms in the murk.
Hard no. Get Falconer to riot. That's funny.
You strip the gloves off of the dead Fomorian, and they immediately,
I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work for things where you could just delete those old items. I think if that was a system where they had the NPC already set up, and whenever they retired an event, they just changed it in the NPC, maybe. But like, there's so many old weird retired items. I bet there's still some motherfucker who's got like the old Easter eggs that you used to find in the marketplace. Oh, I'm not covering in-game chat. True, I'm in the wrong place. Thank you. But yeah, I bet there's some people with like all these crazy old items. It's also an issue because one of the things developers try not to do is try to give direct advantage to enfranchised players. So what I mean by that is you might notice that when new expansions come out, the game gives out new currencies. And pretty much every single game will do this. Not every game, but almost every game will have a currency related to a region or a new piece of content. And they do that for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is to ensure that people are playing the new content. So if they're buying it, they have to go do the new content to get the thing. So they can spend a certain amount of X hours or time or whatever in it. But also the secondary reason for that is because if they don't add a new currency and only use old currencies for things, it causes the issue where players who already have lots of the old currency have a huge advantage over players who don't have lots of the old currency. So a new expansion kind of becomes almost a neutral ground. If Ravenloft comes out and or like when Chill of Ravenloft came out, nobody had the ingredients. So everybody starting to farm it and starting to get the ingredients at the same time can now build the similar levels of gear at the same time. You don't have this insane disadvantage where, you know, let's say it just used the same Isle of Dread ingredients to craft it as opposed to giving us a new ingredient. Well, that would mean for me, who has thousands of each of the ingredients, I could just go on the Astral Shard auction house and start selling ingredients to people and making gajillions of Astral Shards. And you, as somebody who's new, can't partake in that. So it makes sense why they do have like new ingredients and new things to get all the time. And so the idea of having it, oh, we're retiring an event, so therefore we're going to give you the ability to trade in your coins in one moment makes sense. if they retired the Ice Skates event or the Risi event, and then when they retired the event, they had a trade-in, that would kind of make sense because people could still like participate during that year. Maybe they add it the same year that they retire it, so it's like the last year of the Risia. You have like that's when the vendor spawns in, so everyone can turn in. That makes sense. But doing it now and then trading it in for modern currency is just saying, hey, in franchise players who already have everything, how about you just have more things? Whereas for newer players, it's really not a draw or something interesting at all. And it also feels like, you know, it's one of the reasons why they made past lives easier to farm. And for the first 8, this doesn't negatively impact in franchise players. And it does make it easier for newer players to get started. And it's good to like slingshot people forward. I don't know. I have a lot of opinions about this, but my most important thing is just if you have old stuff, just like get rid of it. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like when I have things that I don't use anymore, what I like to do personally is I like to go to the thrift store, and I oftentimes donate my old goods that I don't use anymore to the thrift store so that other people may find good use out of them. And who knows, maybe the thrift store will throw them in the garbage, I don't know. But I don't know, I just don't hold on to too many things. I'm just like, this thing had its use, I enjoyed it, and now I move on to the next stage. Okay, some more experience level once you've gotten some past lives done? Yes. So your first 4 past lives, so the way it used to be is your first past life was 1.9, or first life is 1.9 million XP. Your second was 2.75 million XP, and your third and all lives after that was 3.8 million XP. That's how it used to be. Now, your first 4 are 1.9 million, 5 to 8 are 2.75 million, and then you only get to the 3.8 million at past life 9. So your first 8 past lives have a bit of a reduction on their XP. Oh, them to shard epics crafting? Exactly, right? So Quantifail, that is exactly what I'm talking about. When they did the changeover, right? When they did the changeover, they added those NPCs at the time. So that was added during update 50 when they retired those 2 systems. So during update 50, at the time, they added those things there. If they didn't add those, what I'm saying is if they did not add those NPCs in update 50, and now it's update 76 coming out, and they go, hey, we're going to add these NPCs, it just seems kind of superfluous. That's more of my point. It's like, it's just giving people who already have their stuff that they probably should have gotten rid of in 2021. Like, again, especially since the idea of, like I'm not against the idea of having a conversion rate when the event happens, but, like, we haven't had the Ice Coin event since 2021, I think? We got Snow Peaks had started in 2022. So, I mean, it's been 4 years. So if you're still holding on to, like, these items after 4 years, I mean, they could make a trade-in, but, like, it's been 4 years. Iconics at life 9 and does not feel as bad for a bit. True. Yeah, you can do that. Next is combating corruption. I'm a pack rat. Well, now this is good. This is good. You have an opportunity because you've held on to these things for years to now go goodbye and delete them. Do I have anything cool I can delete right now? Or something interesting I can delete? Oh, I really don't want to delete any of the things that I have because I already trimmed down. There's so many essentials in here. I don't want to delete anything, personally. I have so many essentials. Is this Dark Apostate level to stick the Apostate's Curse line on it for future use in TRs, or just good? So the idea here, the reason why we're doing Dark Apostate is because I didn't know what to play for my last Dampier life, and I asked chat for suggestions. Some people in chat said Dark Apostate. Some people in chat said Falconer, and some people have been asking me about Vampire Monk and is it good? So my solution was Dampier, Dark Apostate, Henshin Mystic, Falconer. So the idea behind this, we're War Domain Dark Apostate, which is going to allow us to get Holy Sword for our critical threat range and multiplier. We are using Monk for the bonuses to Quarterstaffs from Henshin Mystic, specifically, as well as some of the stances and some cool crowd control abilities, which is awesome. And then we are using Falconry as the actual main tree for this character because Falconry is cool and I get a bird buddy. I will actually be using the Dark Apostate Imbue in the future. I'm not doing it now because I want to take Falconry stuff, but the Dark Apostate Imbue is actually better for this character than the Henshin Mystic Imbue because of how much spell power we're going to easily be able to scale. So it actually is better to use the Dark Apostate Imbue. And the Dark Apostate Imbue, as previously mentioned, will in fact allow me to stack up and get some extra secondary effects.
That sense of unease you felt.
What do you think of Guild Wars Reforged? Hold on, let me find my opinion. Nothing was posted in the Guild Wars 3 channel in my Discord, so I don't think it's real. Because if there was some new Guild Wars news, Dorak would have told me about it, so I think what you're telling me is fake news. To be fair, Dorak did stay up until 1 p.m. yesterday, so maybe he's just asleep and hasn't heard the news if it came out today, but we'll see.
The root tunnel ahead looks nearly dead. It's begun to rot.
There's something in there now. Look, man, the only person who I can trust about Guild Wars is Dorak because he's very invested. He cares more about it than anybody. Even the developers. If I just say Guild Wars enough, he's going to show up in the chat. That's how it works. But yeah. Oh no. I wish I had healing of some kind, but I just don't. Oh, I have cure! I didn't realize I had cure. And close wounds? Oh man, I can cure people? That's crazy. I have so much mana. I should definitely do that. Did I take Quicken? Not yet. I'm gonna heal. I have lots of mana. Let's heal.
Your sense of dread.
Got it. There we go. I'm a healer. There it is. Announcing Guild Wars Reforged. This year, we're grateful to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the launch of Guild Wars Prophecies and the start of Guild Wars franchise. Spurred on by the wonderful community response to our April anniversary celebration, we announced Guild Wars Reforged. Okay, so the problem with this, we believe that advances, blah, 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 blah. Guild Wars Reforged is a serious update to Guild Wars that is completely free to existing players and makes it easier to experience it all firsthand. Oh, they're just redoing the basic system. New low bundle price, so it brings the entire game for 20 bucks. Hardware compatibility, so it'll work on Steam Deck. Visual and audio updates. User friendliness. In addition to updated UI allows easier navigation. Guild Wars Reforged brings a new quest tracking system and on-screen navigation. When the game update goes live, you see a logo to tell you it's doing a thing. Okay, so it's basically it's an update to the existing game. It's not a new game. You don't have to buy a new game. If you already own Guild Wars, you just get this for free, which is cool. However, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of wild to hear a game company describe a remaster as Reforged, given the disastrous correlation of Warcraft 3 Reforged to titles of remastered video games. For those of you that are unaware, Warcraft 3 Reforged can be best described as a lackluster pile of garbage. It is not good when the remake of your video game is dramatically worse than the original video game. And this is not like, oh, this is people who are stuck in their ways who can't accept change. There were so many bugs and so many problems with Warcraft 3 Reforged. One of my favorites, there's this awesome compilation where there was a Warcraft 3 tournament that happened shortly after the release of the game. And there's a compilation of basically the announcers who are paid by Blizzard and cannot say anything bad about the game because they're being paid to run this tournament, where it was like 70% of the games in the tournament were decided by disconnects because the game connections were so bad. It would disconnect so often because of how bad the servers were. the announcers are like, oh, and look at that. It looks like this so and so wins this round because this match looks like it's ended via disconnect. All right, it's rough. It's a rough watch. Next is Thorn, right? So yeah, that was a tough one. Yo, what's up, Rachel TGG? How you doing?
A deep voice booms through the cavern. Turn back.
Is that Dampier Monk Dark Apostate? It is Dampier Monk Dark Apostate Falconer. It's everything you could ever want in one build. It's undead. It's a monk. It's a Dark Apostate. It is a Falconer. I got a bird. I don't have a falcon. I actually have a snowy owl. But owls are cool, man. I don't know. I saw Harry Potter once. Or I think there's an owl in the Golden Compass. Or what was that owl novel series? The Guardians of Ga'Hoole or something? I know my owl novels. Or Wan Shi Tong, He Who Knows 10,000 Things.
Creatures instantly spring to the attack.
Owl Lord. But yeah. That does seem exciting. As somebody who's been playing through Guild Wars 1 really slowly, I actually really like Guild Wars 1. To me, Guild Wars 1 is basically just a better version of EverQuest. So that's very exciting. That they're going to be like just updating the visuals and the UI. Because one of the few elements that I dislike about it is the UI. Something I think both Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 are very bad at. And I will say this, I say this in the nicest way possible. All of the pixel art in Guild Wars 1 and 2 is extremely bad. It's all unreadable mush.
Dryad joins the fray herself.
Pretty much every single icon in that entire game is unintelligible. Wan Shi Tong MTG guard kicks ass. Link. I require Scryfall Link. So is this build good or just a 20? This is just a 20, but also this build will work. The reason why it works is because Henshin Mystic or Monk in general is extremely strong now in the early levels. I don't mind the UI, but it's just for some reason when I open up my inventory, it's just a bunch of mush because they kind of go with like a more painted look for the inventory as opposed to a sharp look. So I can never tell what an icon actually is supposed to look like. Oh, we have a Scryfall link. Which hunt?
The Prince of Satyrs then took that needle to some place called the Treasure Grove.
All right, 2 and a blue, or sorry, no, never mind. X and 2 blue for Wan Shi Tong Librarian, legendary creature, bird spirit, flash, flying, and vigilance for a 1/1. Okay. So we can play this whenever we want. It's got vigilance, it's got flying. When Wan Shi Tong enters, put X 1/1 counters on him, then draw half X cards rounded down. Okay, whenever an opponent searches their library, put a 1/1 counter on Wan Shi Tong and draw a card. Interesting. I feel like this is not a good standard card, but this is like a really good like commander card and like older format card. Not an older format card, but like modern card and stuff like that. Because I could be wrong about this, but like 6 mana 5/5 draw 2. Well, no, because if it hits the table, can't you like draw every time your opponent searches? So if your opponent's doing some type of combo.
Don't let her pray use one of the portals.
Yeah, I feel like because the problem with standard is, as far as I know, there aren't a lot of standard decks that are directly searching cards right now. It's a lot of draw and a lot of cycle. People are doing I don't know what do you call it when it's like draw a card, discard a card. But I can see a lot of people do that more often than anything else. No, surveil is look at the top card and throw it in the graveyard, right? It's looting, yeah. Because it's like faithless looting. Draw 2, discard 2. So that's how most people are doing it. It's not a lot of searchers. But if you're playing like a commander deck, where you've got like all your different tutors and what have you, I feel like that's where you get more searching. Because it's specifically only when an opponent searches. So again, I feel like that would be a fun commander card. And it's a legendary creature. You could make Wan Shi Tong your commander. Is that the only Wan Shi Tong card? Oh, and fetch lands, true. Okay, so what you're saying is we have a new Simic deck that plays Badger Mole and Wan Shi Tong. Oh, it's whenever an opponent searches. Damn. I was gonna say you play the Badger, or it's the counter to the Badger Mole green decks, because every time they use any of like the land cards where they like convert the lands into creatures and then discard them to like find other things, instead you can counter that by drawing a card every time. So there you go. Oh, there's 2 more cards. All right, what else we got here? So then there's Wan Shi Tong All Knowing. So when he's at aggro, is a 5 mana blue card. So 3 and 2 blue. Flying. When Wan Shi Tong enters, target non-land permanent permanent's owner puts into the library. Second from the wait, what? When Wan Shi Tong enters, target non-land permanent's owner puts into their library second from the top or on the bottom. What? Okay, I don't understand that sentence. What does the first sentence mean? I don't understand it. When he enters, target non-land permanent owner. Target owner puts. So you choose a card. The owner puts that into their library second from the top or on the bottom. Oh, so they take the card and they slip it under the second highest card, or they put it on the bottom of the deck. And they get to choose. Okay, I understand. Sorry, it took me a second. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into a library from anywhere, create 2 1/1 tokens, but this token cannot be blocked or... Okay, that one seems way worse. That one's significantly worse. So that's a horrible card. And Planetarium, 6 neutral mana. Next is Needle in a Phase stack. Yes, that one's just straight up worse. And then 6 mana legendary artifact. Tap to 1 mana, tap scry 2. Whenever you scry or surveil, look at the top card of your library. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Do this once each turn. I mean, if that card wasn't 6 mana,
In the midst of the swamp stands a curious hedge.
but yeah, there's your commander card right there.
Search for some sort of legible inscription. You cannot find any sign of who built this or why.
Yeah, the Planetarium is very cool. The unfortunate reality is that you won't be able to play it in standard because having 6 mana means you died to or Tifa already hit you for 7,000 damage. So unfortunately, you didn't get to play that card. But in Commander, and it's an artifact too. Magic cards. Yeah, they did bring back lessons. Oh, the Wan Shi Tong All Knowing is an older card. I see. Rush with the Planetarium, you're like playing a value deck, which means you don't instantly win off his trigger. And that's the other thing too, 100%, yeah. Because if you can actually force it out, if you have enough mana ramp or specific artifact support, where you can generate more artifact mana or neutral mana, yes, you are more likely to hit a dead draw. The Fae event is tomorrow? You're joking. I didn't even make a video for it. Literally no warning, no heads up, no advance notice. I will say this. All right. I'm a little underwhelmed by this.
Perhaps it is the
Hopefully
one
this is understandable, but I'm going to do my best to kind of
as you open the
contain
chest,
myself here a little bit.
unicorn leaps out. As you defeat the unicorn,
Be responsible, Streamtime. Be responsible.
bursts out. The deer falls. Something's preparing dog.
Okay, so I'm excited for the Feywild event, and it's going to be fun. Okay, the Feywild event is going to be fun.
Thankfully, the
Just
egg
be aware,
doesn't
it's
move
going to be exciting.
yet.
SSG has literally the worst marketing department in the history of video games. It's not Cordovin's decision, by the way, to post this tomorrow. I'm just going to point you guys out. That is not his decision. So don't dogpile on Cordovin.
A small winged shadow sweeps
I just want to point this
down
out.
from the sky and plucks the needle out.
SSG literally runs something
With a victorious
called the DDO Content Creator Program,
creature darts
okay?
away with its prize.
where they have several content creators who they are choosing to directly interact with to give things, like myself, to give stuff to people. So they've given out like all sorts of different types of things to help people with content creation. They're trying to get a promotion system where they can promote things, so they can like have people like being boosted on different socials, so they can have like a direct tie-in to different things. So when like expansions or events, they can tap people on the shoulder. And they didn't fucking tell anybody. Unbelievable. I'm baffled. I'm literally baffled right now.
Dragon disappeared through this portal, taking your prize with it.
Sorry, I'm like trying to make sure I don't curse too much. I am absolutely baffled. I don't understand. I understand. Surprise events or big events are never a good idea. No, that's actually not true. I disagree with that. I actually think you can definitely have surprises for big events.
Up ahead.
I just think doing a surprise, like, there's no marketing.
Rude! What are you, some kind of fae asking for my name like that? You can't have
Oh, right. I
my
didn't talk to the dragon.
name. But you may call.
There's no marketing. It's an event.
We're gonna play hide and tag. So first, you close your eyes. No peeking. And count to 10. And then finding and tagging. And then you run. Ah, ready?
Well, all right. Yeah, it's happening. The Fae event starts tomorrow. Symphony of the Fae.
You found me.
I am
Tag, I'm here.
completely baffled. What? What's happening? Why are we resetting? Where's the dragon? Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's right here. Tag, you're it. Yeah, it's literally tomorrow. Oh, Liza, you might not have done this before. So to do this quest, we play hide and tag. We need to not touch the dragon. Attacking the dragon, touching the dragon, coming into contact with the dragon causes us to lose the game. So please don't attack the dragon. Thank you. I'm playing for the Fae event tomorrow? I don't know. I'm a little scattered. I'm a little frazzled. I don't understand. I have no idea. I haven't read the patch notes. I'm going to read the patch notes after we're done with Feywild here. So if you're wondering why I don't have a strong opinion, that's why.
With Earsom's precious needle in hand, you prepare to offer him a bargain he can't refuse.
All right. Legend of the Lost Locket. Yep. Don't worry. I remember. I was just skeleton. I appreciate you reminding me. Sorry, I'm just Yeah, that's why I called it 2 weeks notice. This is actually kind of crazy. Yeah. Symphony of the Feywild event starts tomorrow.
You hear the murmur of confused voices.
I could have done my solo guided playthrough of the Artificer build with the Feywild hardcore event and shown how to do it. That could have been an option. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I don't understand. It is so baffling and confusing to me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
A magical light fills this chamber and glints off of something mounted to the back wall.
Even putting out build guides, it's so fast that none of the builders are up to date. So I'd have to write out all the builds by like hand because of how many changes are coming through. Maybe they're moving it up because the Lord of the Rings Online expansion is coming out in the first week of December and they don't want to have both of those things happening on the same day. I don't know.
Sounds like a growl. The light filtering through this shallow pool illuminates a lever set into the far wall.
Anyway, well, if you didn't know, now you know. The new event is coming out. Now, hopefully, the event will last a long time. Oh no, this guy died. Coming. The event will last a long time, so everyone will be able to get in and get all their rewards. It's not going to be a huge emergency. It's likely going to last like either 3 or 6 months, which is what the previous event lasted for. So hopefully that will be good there for a good amount of time. But we'll see. Runs until February 3rd. It's only 3 months too. Sick. Well, man. Next week because of Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, American holidays. Good old American holidays. Yeah, literally tomorrow. I'm just trying to temper my frustration. I'm very agitated right now. Somebody commented on like another one of my live streams last week, and they were like, "Strim, you seem like really annoyed and agitated. Like, are you okay? Is everything fine?" And I couldn't figure out what they were talking about because all my live streams the past 2 weeks have been great. I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun chatting with people. And yeah, sometimes there might be like differences of opinion where like we talk about something and I disagree with somebody in the chat and there's kind of a back and forth. That's okay. That's just fun. That's just discourse. We're just chatting. We're just doing whatever. Today, I am very frustrated and I'm trying extremely hard to hold it in. Anyway, it's fine.
Kelpie Lord calls out.
We can see you're no easy prey, but the struggle makes the feast all the sweeter. Elementals, attend me!
The Kelpie Lord falters.
Why big mad?
Collapses, diffusing
I'm mad
blood
because
spray.
as a content creator in the DDO community, it would be nice if we got the tiniest bit of heads up so that I could like me and anybody else can make a video about it to get people excited about the event coming up. Because instead of having like an official link or a press release about it or something that we got ahead of time so we can make a piece of content that we could do like a week in advance or anything like that. Because you have to understand, DDO is not a sustainable career as a streamer. So everybody that streams DDO has a fucking job. Okay? So you get home from work and you're like, oh cool, I have an opportunity to make something that might be benefiting for my channel or something like that. And by the way, I'm not even just talking about me. I'm talking about everybody. Next is immortality lessons. It's just like, what a joke. And you might be like, well, yeah, but can't somebody like make a video, you know, the following day or whatever, or maybe they put out a video like for the weekend. And that is not how attention works. That's not how the attention economy works. You need to get stuff out right away. That is unfortunately the way that the world lives, that people lose interest as time goes on. It's just crazy to me that this has been a common complaint towards SSG for years, that they just give no notice about any of their events to literally anybody. And like, how are you supposed to drive up excitement? How are people even supposed to care? Oh, cool. There's an event going on, I guess. That's kind of neat. Well, good thing I've already planned to do this other thing. Like, people have asked me, oh, do you have like a plan to like run your like day one party through? Obviously, like I'm personally biased by this because about this situation because it bothers me. But like, you know, usually I've done like a day one hardcore group where like I get people together, hardcore releases, and we do like the day one push from 1 to 20, which is really, really cool. For like me and my friends, it's something that we've done for every single hardcore event. What the fuck am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to, hey, all these people who are like working, who have other things, can you just take a day off work randomly to then come and like run this event where we all like do a meme build together and try to get through? Like, what are you talking about? There's no time for this. And you might be like, oh, well, like just do it like on the weekend. Guess what? People have plans. People have lives. It's not just like, oh, just do it later. It's just so I am flabbergasted. I am frustrated. I don't even know where to start. It's just so baffling to me. And again, this is my personal bias. If you are just excited about the event and the balance changes, this is a good thing, okay? This is a good thing because the balance changes are going to be really cool, and the new stuff that's coming is really cool. The Fae event looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Once you complete the lesson,
I just don't get it. I just don't understand.
Here's some bows, then disappear.
Man, that's really frustrating.
While cobwebs choke the corners of this cauldron, Fearsom's voice floats in the air, coming from everywhere.
Yep. Anyway, so those are my personal opinions, and that's why I'm frustrated. Again, I think the event is going to be generally fun. So obviously, if you're not me, you will probably just like log in and have some fun with the event. But like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna stay up all night and, you know, make a multi-hour hardcore build guide video because to help people out, because it's just like it's not worth it for my mental. when there's no reason. I couldn't have been told on Friday, or, you know, the content creators couldn't have been told like a couple days ago. It was not a surprise to SSG that they released it tomorrow. They knew they were releasing it tomorrow, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. This sort of stuff to me is just ridiculous. They could have. No, I'm not dealing with this.
The door slams open, and a Fomorian walks out into the chamber.
Finally, Mori Ladron
Yeah.
for supper.
It's so ridiculous.
You collected a watchword and killed the hungry Fomorian.
And again, I know I'm talking about my own personal experience and like how I am personally frustrated, but like, dude, come on. Like, as you like, literally my top performing videos every year are Hardcore Build Guide Season X. Those are my top performing forum posts. Those are the things that people consistently go back to for me personally. And you know how I know people use it? Because I know that there are people that work at Standing Stone Games who will sometimes go to my hardcore build guides for hardcore season. Because I've had personal direct conversations with some of the staff that work at Standing Stone Games, specifically about my hardcore builds, because they've asked me questions. Okay? I know that there are people that know that this is how these things take place.
Now it's time for you
Unbelievable.
See this band?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Best them. Then you will be given.
But as I said, it is exciting. The new hardcore event is going to be a lot of fun. The new Simply the Fae event is going to be a lot of fun. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer for the whole event. If you're somebody who's just going to log in and play, earn some cosmetics, do the new stuff, I think it's going to be a good time. So again, I am not out here trying to be a damper on people's experiences. I want everybody to have fun. That's the whole goal. That's one reason why I want to make like a helpful video to give people some builds and things that they can get through to kind of talk about some of the new content and some of the new things. But yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. They didn't give Whirlwind Attack the crit changes? Oh, it is what it is, I guess. Anyway. God, I'm so baffled. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's affecting my brain, dude. It's affecting my brain. And I'm aware of the excuse of, hey, man, it's just a video game. Ugh. Why? Well, that was fresh start servers. I don't mind that it's on the existing servers. Actually, to be honest, I actually think it's the way that they're doing it is perfectly fine. Yeah, exactly.
Gargoyle perches on a high ledge inside this room. Stretches out his crumbling arms.
I think they have this expectation that they're going to announce this big event. It's going to cause people to come back. And I'm going to explain something that maybe some like at least one person at Standing Stone Games will ever learn. They're not fucking Beyonce, okay? They can't just like release an update without telling anybody about it and then expect it to go crazy and break the internet. That's not how it works. They have to do something called traditional marketing.
The red signal crystal on the wall lights up when you pull this lever.
Unbelievable. Anyway. Back to work.
A solitary gargoyle statue rests
And
in this chamber.
you saw the news about Hyatt Tail? No, I did not. They don't treat Lotro like this, do they? So fun Lotro fact. Did you know that Lotro has a yearly calendar? And the yearly calendar gets updated, so it shows you the day of every single event for the entire year, and they get it in January.
Now that you've collected this watchword, all there is left to do is find a path out of this labyrinth.
Yeah, if you didn't know, that's how that works.
This door matches the one you used to enter this labyrinth.
So my main better go get 23 before they nerf quick cutter. There you
Now
go.
that you have the watchword, you're free to leave. This door has been sealed with a magic incantation.
Yeah, why do they even tell us?
Only the 2 watchwords can unlock.
You know what they should do? They shouldn't even tell us when there's a patch. They should just say nothing. Don't even tell us. Just like you log in and then there's a patch, no patch notes, and then we just have to figure it out on our own.
You step
That's what they should do. It's way better that way.
The arena appeared.
No notice of downtime, no notification or
Hey
anything.
Strim, SSG here. Hope you're excited for the new Fae event. Grok told us that people would get really excited for the event if we waited to announce the day before. Sorry if you are mad.
Mementos
True.
of what the Feywild is now. And what I so wish.
I haven't looked at the article yet,
2
so I don't know if it's in there or what's actually happening in there.
illusory versions of Lord Arden and the Prince of Frost.
These 2.
We're gonna look at all the stuff later. I was running Feywild at the time. If I was less agitated, I would have like immediately looked at all of the stuff that is coming out, but not today. So yeah, we're working on it, one step at a time. One step at a time.
Illusory Lord Arden falls to the ground. Your next challenge returns.
Ree! Anyway, I'll stop complaining eventually. Just give me some time to come down. But we'll actually make it good. No. I actually have no clue why they were changed. It literally doesn't matter. You don't get a bonus to Conjuration or Necromancy DCs, so I don't know why they changed it to Conjuration or to instead of Necromancy.
Spotted by the attentive satyrs before you can pry it loose. What are you up to, then? Surely you
What
aren't
are you
letting
up to,
your light
then?
fingers make off with our host's fine furnishings.
True. All right. Deep breaths.
Shattering in a spray of ice and snow. The gleaming walls of the room dim, then fade away. Hear some whistles and applause as he appears.
Bravo! I hadn't imagined you'd be so ruthless. I wonder how your little lord and that bitter archfey would feel.
All right.
Knowing how
All right, we go to Feywild. We go to Feywild, and everything is good. We go to Feywild. Thanks for the group. All take care. And then we look for adamantine knuckles for Officer
Before you
Skeleton,
can leave,
and then we
a
chill.
cold, commanding voice peals out.
What have you done? We had a deal, Jason.
Center, recenter. It's fine. All's well. Well, my thinking was what they could do is just make it so that Blightwolf gets +1 Necromancy DCs per level. It sounds really crazy, but no one is going to play in wolf form to be a Necromancer because of all the increases to cooldowns. It would be a huge problem. So you're never going to do that because Whale will still have a 90-second cooldown. So
You
yeah.
attempt to take the sign, but are spotted by the attentive satyrs before
So yeah, I don't
you
know.
can pry it loose.
That was my
What are
suggestion,
you
was
up to,
make it so
then?
Blight Wolves get +1
Surely
Necromancy
you aren't
DCs per,
letting your
per
audience
level.
make off with our host's fine furnishings without build guides from twitch.tv/StrimeTom. That would be deplorable.
True. Elite accepted on that group? On which group? My group? I don't have a group anymore. We are done.
The home of Lord
But it depends on the person. Some people are level 8,
Summer
do Feywild at 8. Sometimes I do that. I did not this time. I just ran it all at level 7 because I basically was just barely 7 and then ran the entire thing and got 2 levels out of it. So went from 7 to 9. But sometimes I don't care and I will do things at a higher level. It really depends on the circumstances. Okay, I'm going to level up here before I forget. Cleric Trainer. Wisdom. Hello. Give me, I don't need concentration. Stop doing that to yourself, StrimTom. I want jump. No, I don't want jump. I want tumble, UMD, and heal. Beautiful. Improved domain of war, which gives me proficiency with any weapon. Yay! Through Fey World at 5. Yep. Yeah, joining groups is oftentimes the solution to that problem. UMD. I guess I can keep pumping up jump, so I have more jump points. That's good. Okay, so now I can take improved two-handed fighting. I did take dodge and mobility, so I can take whirlwind attack, but I honestly feel like it's not necessary because my AoE is really good. So I'm going to take improved two-handed fighting. I don't think I need anything else. And I also get my new feat. Where is it? Where are you, religious feat? Orion's Instruction for +4 wisdom. Yay! And now we spend the points because I am a falconer. So we're going to go up the falconry tree. 5% life is good. Action boost sprint is nice for getting around sometimes in quests. True seeing is just good. And then we get access to coordinated strikes. I'm going to take coordinated strike, which is really, really powerful. Now I have a AoE attack in coordinated strike, which is a fantastically powerful cleave. 25-second cooldown, but it blinds everything, so it's really good. And then we will go from there. I also have action boost sprint, so I can run around. Yay! Okay. I'm going to check for the hand wraps. I think I have a pair of adamantine wraps. If I don't have a pair of adamantine wraps, I do apologize. But I'm going to quickly do a check here. Man. I have 1 epic elite, an epic normal, a elite, a epic normal, and a normal. So, officer skeleton, which one do you want? I didn't realize I had 5. It's really funny. Yeah. I personally, I'm a big fan of the 12 because it means you can start using it at 12. But if you want the 14, you can have the 14 instead. The difference between them is +1 to hit and damage. I'm going to take the 12. All right, he's taken the 12, ladies and gentlemen. And who am I mailing this to? Hopefully that's spelled right. Lu In. Liu Kang. Okay, here you go. Enjoy. Way to start your solo playthrough to the event if they would have given you some notice? Yes. Don't worry. I'm aware of that. Because I like to do those on hardcore. It would have been crazy if I could do it on hardcore, right? Oh, okay. Let's look at the patch notes. Let's look at the patch notes. All right. Update 76. Release notes.
I shall attend to it in a trice.
Advice for dagger using rogue. I find it hard to precisely estimate the quality of some weapons. The differences might be slight, but still annoying. TWF rogue Vistani. 2x gold cursed whisper Doom's Fang +3 adamantine vorpal feeding, which combo for general fighting.
So general rule of thumb, the most important thing you want to look for on a weapon is its critical threat range and multiplier during the heroic leveling process, because there's a bunch of weird old weapons that kind of break the rules. So for example, it was annoying, but don't worry, I got you covered. I understand what you're saying. So as an example, if I open up daggers, oh, there we go. If I go through daggers, during the leveling process, there are a couple standouts. So number one, that's a good standout with a secondary effect, is the level 3 Gold Curse Dagger. If you've used Gold Curse Dagger heroic leveling, this is crazy useful. Very, very good. I almost always recommend leveling with a Gold Curse Dagger if you happen to have one. The next dagger up from there that I recommend people looking up, you can get the Sky Pirates Dagger. It's a D6, not a D4, and it has a crazy critical threat profile and is one of the best leveling weapons in the game. The problem is, it comes from this chest, which is so annoying to farm. I can't recommend it. Don't do this. Don't farm this. Don't farm this. Instead, go up levels and get a Nightforge Stiletto. It is a +5 adamantine dagger, so it bypasses most damage reduction. It's slashing, so you don't have to worry about only dealing piercing. And its base crit is 17 to 20, which means it becomes a... if you're like an assassin rogue, this will become a 14 to 20 ×3 weapon. ×4 weapon, actually. So from Nightforge Stiletto all the way up to the level cap of level 30, I just used Nightforge Stiletto from level 8 to 30, and that's it. Also, welcome back to the Shrimp Team. Do kept appreciate support for 56 months. We're having a fantastic day. Glad to have you here. Do you think that DDO should have full armor and secondary slot hotter clicking to change out gear? Huh? What do you mean, Bagger? I don't understand what you're talking about. All right, we're gonna go over the release notes. So this is update 76 release notes. Oh, you mean like a button for a set? Like you can log an armor set and then to like swap entire gear sets? Is what you're asking about? Because you can put armor on your action bars. I don't think it's super relevant. Like they could probably do something like that. The main problem is more importantly than like full gear. So I don't want that for regular combat because I think that all it does is just make trances more powerful and snapshotting more powerful. And I think disincentivizing snapshots is a good idea in games. So I think that it would just be like, if I could press one button to swap on 5 intelligence pieces and then hit my trance and then press another button to swap back, everybody would do that. And it's just like, it just doesn't like make the game better. It just makes snapshotting easier, which like you should, you know, all the people that defend snapshotting say, well, it's a skill expression. So good. It should be clunky as fuck. So those people get to express their skill. But then second, I would rather that be packaged the way that they did it in Elder Scrolls Online, where instead of it being like, oh, you can change your gear, it's actually you change your whole build. So what I would rather is imagine, I'm just gonna go back out of this, instead of it a button that changes your gear, you have like an entire build set. So I have 2 builds, and when I click another build, not only does it change my gear that's set up in the build, but it also respecs my enhancement points, and that can only be done in town. So that way, let's say I have a sorcerer build, and I want to swap between fire and cold, I could press 2 buttons when I'm in town to go from the fire set to the cold set. And that way I can basically change up all my enhancements and my epic destinies and kind of move one to the other. That's something that I think would be interesting if they ever implemented as like a all-encompassing thing that does equipment and sets. But I don't think we'll get that. Like Lotro? No, like Elder Scrolls Online. Lotro just lets you save enhancement tree profiles, which would be nice for sure. But I'm talking about one button that can save my enhancement tree, my epic destiny, my reaper, all my equipment, and just swap between them. That's what I would like to see. Okay, I'm not going to get distracted anymore. Update 76 release notes. Symphony of the Fae is coming out tomorrow. If you haven't heard about the Symphony of the Fae event, that is what's going to be, we're going to be getting tomorrow. So let's go read over the patch notes. So, special note, Symphony of the Fae has arrived. Hearsome has been corrupted, caused by the Fomorian king now residing in the Shadowfell following his defeat. This curse has scattered Hearsome's power all across the worlds, and it's up to you to gather his power back in order to put an end to the Fomorian king's threat. Aligned with the Summer and Winter Court, equip one of 5 special loots, discover musical notes, complete special encounters, and earn cosmetic rewards. So I'm going to look at the Fae guide later, but we're going to be looking at this stuff here. So balance updates. So update 76 includes a series of balance changes with particular focus on early heroic gameplay. Please see below for your information. We're going to do a quick skim through this for anything that is notably different or notably missing, because there were some things that were changed along with here and some things that were missed. I don't know if anything else snuck in, but we will see. So number 1, the finesse changes. All weapons in pen and paper that work off of finesse in like 5th edition are now going to work like that in DDO, which means if a weapon in 5 uses dex or strength for damage, like a dagger or a short sword, it will just work like that in DDO. You don't need to have a feat to now get dex to damage with daggers. You can just use it right away. Also, scimitars will be treated as light weapons as well, and will benefit from the weapon finesse. Crossbows will now use dexterity to hit and damage, which means that crossbow rogue will be a good starter. So I'll have to redo the beginner basics for rogue. Oh, goody. Dagger, dart, and shuriken thrown weapons now use the highest of strength or dexterity. They naturally use dexterity to hit and strength to damage, for those of you that don't know, because it's how hard you throw them. And then throwing axes and hammers now use strength to hit and damage directly. They do not use dexterity at all. So throwing hammers and axes are all strength. And the brutal throw feat, because that's what this used to do, is instead now +1 to damage for every 8 points of strength, which does not make it meta, but it's neat. It's +10 damage basically. And then these specific changes, everywhere across the game, there were areas to get dex and damage with all the light weapons. They have changed those now. So Weapon Finesse is now just going to give you some hit bonuses. The Ranger Core instead just works with all one-handed weapons. So as a result, you can get dexterity to hit and damage with any weapon you want. So if you want to have dual wield bastard swords that use dex, you can do this now with 6 levels of Ranger. Assassin, instead, it just gives some damage and fortification bypass. Tabaxi just does like quarterstaff nonsense. Wait, do quarterstaffs quarterstaffs not fitting into Weapon Finesse? It's actually an excellent question. I don't know if quarterstaffs fit into Weapon Finesse, because in 5 they're finessable weapons. But here it says improved instincts is with quarterstaff only. We'll see. Deepwood Stalker gets fort bypass and +3 to hit, which is actually really good. Bard Swashbuckle, this literally doesn't do anything. General changes have been made through a Swashbuckler text to support this adjustment, so it's just changing the text. Wood Elf and Halfling dex hit and damage just works with all weapons now, and Halfling Thrower gives +2 to hit and damage with thrown weapons, which again doesn't really matter. Quarterstaffs are not finessable. Interesting. Okay, good to know. Then we go to the general feat changes. Cleave and Great Cleave are getting buffed. Are they good now? Yes, Great Cleave is actually quite usable, so you can definitely consider using it. Sunder and Improved Sunder got a huge buff, giving increased to its attack roll, which means you're going to hit more often, and a damage bonus on Improved Sunder. Ability that is actually very good, and if you play in in-game raids, you will hear the Sunder effect go off pretty regularly, because people use Sunder a lot at endgame. However, this is going to make it more enticing during the level process, so this is still pretty good. Hamstring and Slicing Blow had their cooldowns reduced to 6 seconds and now gain a damage bonus. No one will ever take Hamstring because this ability is not good. However, Slicing Blow is interesting. The fact that it has 6-second cooldown for some extra damage means you could take it for characters that have few attacks, and 40% damage is pretty nice. Stunning Blow and Sap's cooldowns are now 10 seconds, and the DC for Stunning Blow is now base 14. Really big buff to Stunning Blow. Stunning Blow is an ability that was like always on the fringes of being able to take. The reason why you don't take Stunning Blow very often in a lot of character builds is because feats are too tight. Every single melee character build already has 4 or 5 feats locked away, which is usually a stance bonus, so power attack or precision, combat style, combat style, combat style, and then improved critical. So that's 5 of your 7 feats already accounted for, and you don't really have too many. So if you're playing a barbarian, it's really hard to fit in Stunning Blow. So unless there's a change, I don't see Stunning Blow fitting in too many places, but somebody might take it, especially if you get bonus feats or if you multi-class fighter. Multi-classing fighter just gains more value from this because 2 levels of fighter is 2 feats, which helps out tremendously. Spring Attack gets a damage bonus, which no one cares about. And now Improved Precise Shot now passively increases the ability score modifier to damage for longbows and shortbows by 50%. So Improved Precise Shot is now mandatory for longbow and shortbow users to give them even more damage. Will this make longbow and shortbow meta? No, but it will increase their power, which is just a good thing. The reason why longbows and shortbows fall behind all the other ranged attack styles is that they attack slower. Counterintuitively, they attack slower than crossbows, which, like, I don't know, I watched Lord of the Rings and I don't think that's how that works, but they do, so that's kind of their limiting factor, but it is what it is. Now let's go to the enhancement tree changes. Razorclaw has a max catch level of 20, so now it no longer bugs. I mean, it is a solution to the problem. They did fix it, so for those that don't know, if you got the Razorclaw Magic Fang, the Magic Fang buff gives you a buff based on your caster level. So because it uses your character level, since it's a racial ability, it would be character level 34. So your caster level 34, but you get 7 extra caster levels from epic and legendary levels, bringing up to 41, and spells above level 41 don't function properly. So as a result, that was a problem. So instead their solution is to cap it at maximum caster level 20. The main problem with this is it kind of just nerfs the ability. So now you get +6 to damage out of Magic Fang, which is still good. It's not my favorite solution, but it is what it is. Blightcaster's Blighted Charge and Jaws of Doom use Conjuration instead of Necromancy. I do not know why this change has happened. This will have no impact on Blightcaster. If anything, it's probably worse. Favorite Soul Archon's Fury. Remove spell point cost per blast, so the damage has also increased to 2d6s. Again, this doesn't super matter. It's a little bit more damage in your Archon, which is kind of neat. So you can get stacked 10 stacks, and that means after 30 seconds, your Archon will be dealing an extra 20 d6s to opponents based on fire spell power. So if you have 30-second long fights, this will be useful. Radiant Servant. These are some actual, like, pretty meaningful changes. Positive energy shield. So this buff is now twice your heal skill and 4 times your heal skill if your target is above level 20, which means that you can actually use this pretty effectively as a temporary shield buff. This ability used to be really, really bad and not really helpful, but now if it's 4 times your heal skill and you get your heal to anywhere from 140 to 150, that's 600 temporary hit points, which is not bad. Efficient Power Heal going down in cost is just nice. Divine Healing now scales with spell power, which is cool. This didn't scale with spell power before. Divine Healing may in fact be the best heal over time in DDO, so Radiant Servant's coming back in a big way. And then Reactive Heal has a minimum healing quantity of 2,000, which means it's actually a lot better. Is it good? Not really, but it's just a lot better than it used to be. So overall, really good changes to Radiant Servant and kind of helping it fit in. And this also affects Sacred Fist as well, which means Sacred Fist with Divine Healing will be very, very good. Expect to see some Sacred Fist Divine Healing information out of me because this ability is so much better than it used to be. It may be something that makes Sacred Fist just, just kind of extremely powerful in the long run. Moving on to Mechanic. Mechanic is getting a lot of interesting changes. All of the bomb abilities that are in the tree are now going to use Disable Device for their DCs, which means they are significantly more powerful than before. It's much easier to keep your Disable Device higher, so this is a massive buff. On top of that, Improved Traps just gives Disable Device, so there's the DC is different. And also all of the abilities have been changed. Their damage has been increased, but on top of that, they also gain more damage based on your sneak attack dice. So as you pick up sneak attack dice in the mechanic tree, these will all scale with you. There's been a number of changes here that you can see. And as you see, the new DC is in here. Time Bomb also has been changed to scale with range power, has a DC, and Leg Shot has also been changed. Leg Shot is now line up and sit down, a range attack which is 250% damage modifier and knocks down a target for 2 seconds with no save. Mechanic has never been the most flashy or exciting tree for ranged character builds. Time Bomb has had its place in the sunlight, but overall, ever since we got Endless Fusillade with the Artificer, or was it Battle Engineer, or more recently the Crossbow No Holds Barred from Inquisitive, it's been a really tough sell to use the Mechanic tree. But this might help it out. The attack is really bad. The animation puts 99% of the time. Wait, is it like a 6-second cast time? Or something like that? Because that would be interesting. Oh, they're updating the notes with corrections? Oh, interesting. That's the Arrow of Discord. Oh, it has just a slow animation. Well, we'll see. It looks like it's a good ability, but if it's really horrible, we'll see. And then Core 5 of Expert Builder with Sniper from T5 gets crit multiplier accessible by level 12. Again, this is just a nice upgrade to make it so you can multi-class a little bit more freely. Oh, so it's like basically if anyone's moving, you can't do anything. Interesting. I see. Vanguard for both Fighter and Paladin has been buffed, and the buffs are pretty substantial. Number 1, we have Follow-Up got a buff. This used to be 3, 6, and 9 melee power for, I believe it was 6 seconds. And now it's 5, 10, and 15 melee power for 30 seconds. So basically, Vanguard's now gotten 15 melee power from stunning, which is pretty sweet. Shield Smash does more damage instead of its little base damage here, as well as granting a PRR MRR buff called Battle Guard. Battle Guard shows up in a lot of places. It lasts 12 seconds, stacks 5 times, and gives you extra defense. A lot of people think that Battle Guard is extremely, extremely overpowered because this is basically 50 physical and magical resistance rating. But remember, the stacks expire if you're out of combat for 12 seconds, which is going to happen pretty regularly, and it's very difficult to get up to 5 stacks unless you're consistently fighting targets all of the time. So you will not see 5 stacks most of the time unless you're in like an endgame raid scenario. However, there is one exception, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Shield Charge applies a knockdown, and the cooldown is 15 seconds now. Shield Charge is now bananas. Very powerful ability, and Armored Strength melee power bonus has been increased from 10 to 15. So overall, they've increased the melee power in the Vanguard tree a little bit. The follow-up is the most impactful thing because this will be up 100% of the time. And the Shield Smash damage is, again, also substantial. So we will see how this goes. But overall, this is a buff to Vanguard, and is one of the reasons why I didn't post my Vanguard Paladin video yet is because I was waiting on these changes to come through. Kenzai is also getting buffed, where Read in the Wind, I'm going to skip ahead here, has an 8-second cooldown and instead will grant Battle Guard, which is here. So if you're a fighter, you can get Shield Smash and Read in the Wind as a fighter vanguard and be able to get double stacks, and this will allow you to have max stacks basically all the time. So as a result, it's going to feel pretty good on a Kensai fighter, on a Vanguard fighter, which to me feels fair because I feel like Paladins already get the defensive bonuses from all of their feats that you don't really get on a fighter. So I think it's kind of a fair trade-off, but also this will affect just regular Kensai's. Reading the Wind expected to be taken by everybody. Also, Shattering Strike bonus is at 100% damage. Again, I think it's cool that there's a reason to put points into Shattering Strike, so I don't really have too much of an input on this one. Next up, we have Vistani Knife Fighter. Core 6 attack speed bonus only applies when using a dagger or kukri. Finally, this is a nerf to Vistani Knife Fighter for non-dagger users. If you are out of the loop and you're like, what do you mean non-dagger users for the capstone? Yes. Some of the most powerful builds for the past several years in DDO have taken the capstone of Vistani, even though they are not using daggers, because attack speed is really, really good. So by locking this into daggers, all of those builds that were doing that will now have to do other things, which for me is a theming success, because I think that the Vistani Knife Fighter tree, being the best tree in the game for most builds, regardless of whether you're using a dagger or not, is a little confusing. So I think this is a good change thematically, and the people that have been working on those builds will find new ways, so expect to hear about it very soon to make those same builds very powerful. Inquisitive. Inquisitive got nerfed by 15 ranged power. It doesn't really matter if you're an Inquisitive player, you won't really feel this that much. You might feel it at like level 18, but by the time you get back to 20, you get your damage back, so you don't really notice. I don't know why this is here, but it is here, so it is what it is. Archmage buff, so Archmages now grant extra DCs and get some more universal spell power for a total of an extra 30. Nice change, pretty minor. Tactical Mobility and Battle Engineer is cheaper. Enlightened Spirit, Beacon and Displacement are cheaper. And Soul Eater, Feed on Magic and Supreme Hunger are cheaper. And Tainted Scholar, everything is cheaper. And Eldritch Power grants more packed dice, or more base dice, sorry, which is interesting. Are you going tier 5 Tainted Scholar? No, but it is neat. So that's kind of cool. Next up, there's a couple other changes here. Miscellaneous, which is Death Ward. So Death Ward no longer completely negates negative damage from Inflict and Necro spell damage. So this is a thing because for years and years and years, if you had Death Ward, you would take no damage from negative damage. So if an enemy hit you with like a harm spell, you just take 0. Now it is 50%. This is a direct nerf to defenses from these type of effects. But before people get upset, I want to talk about a couple things. Number one, negative damage is very underrepresented in Dungeons & Dragons Online. There's basically only a few effects in DDO or a few monsters that actually use any amount of dangerous negative damage. Most notably stuff like in Temple of the Deathworm or in Skeletons in the Closet, 2 endgame raids. There's a lot of negative damage, but the number of monsters that actually cast any amount of dangerous negative spells is very, very, very low. It is not a common spell for enemies to cast. However, there are a couple minor and passive negative effects. And so there's actually a reason for why they're changing it. One of the problems with Death Ward is that it made you, not only did you take 0 damage, you're actually immune to those effects. So a lot of monsters couldn't affect you with secondary things that would otherwise be more dangerous. So something to look out for if you're going to be playing hardcore on the Feywild event is the skeleton mages. If you had Death Ward, an arcane skeleton wouldn't affect you with its aura at all. However, now, if that arcane skeleton has a like Soul of Cruelty buff, so it's a Soul of Cruelty, the arcane skeleton's passive effects, the champion effects, will now apply to you, which makes it a little bit more dangerous. So that is something to pay attention to. It's one of the few areas where this actually will affect your character. But this is actually a big win for other players, because what they've had to do for a lot of endgame bosses is they've had to make it so that those bosses basically strip all negative resistance because everybody just happens to have Death Ward. So how can they make a boss themed around negative energy, which is obviously going to be a mate, like a lot of antagonists will be like kind of necromantic or undead. So how can they have that theming going if everybody's immune to the effects? So they've had that type of stripping capability on many different monsters in the past. They're going to get rid of that. So now they won't do that anymore, which is kind of cool. So if you're a Pale Master, you will be able to go and do the raid Skeletons in the Closet without instantly dying every time. If you've been a Pale Master, if you get targeted by the Ghost Flame, she hits you with a debuff that takes away your immunity, and then you kill yourself with your own Death Aura. It's very cool. So now that's not going to happen anymore, which is very, very exciting. It also means that you can actually use a Pale Master as an interesting tank for that raid, because on the higher difficulties, you can simply and easily tank the Ghost Flame when she will never be able to apply her big negative damage to you. So there's actually some interesting options opening up there. And then lastly, one of the changes why this is actually kind of good is that a lot of monsters do cast Death Ward, and when they do cast Death Ward, if you're a Pale Master, if you're a Dark Apostate, if you're a Apothecary Alchemist throwing out your negative spells, those creatures will take 0 damage, but not anymore. Now they just resist, which means you can actually still deal damage to them. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. I would say overall that Death Ward change is, if no one told you about it, you probably wouldn't notice it, but I do think this is personally a better change for the video game, and I think this is a good thing. You're going to find all the Horrid Wilting casters. Horrid Wilting is not a negative spell, so it is not affected by Death Ward. Horrid Wilting is a untyped spell. Yeah, you might die if you say versus Finger of Death. That's true, but if you have a 50% damage reduction, I don't think that would even affect it. Also, apparently Lost Souls and Reaper raids, the drop rate for Lost Souls and Reaper raids has been greatly increased. SSG is aware that there's an issue with casters and raids, and so they're trying to help out to make casters a little bit more viable. Hopefully there will be more changes coming in the future, but for now, this is what we have. Problematically, the only casters people are bringing are healers, so healers will just have more infinity mana, but overall, I mean, healers won't be upset about that. And then we have Fury of the Wild. Quick Cutter has been nerfed. Its cooldown has increased by 2 seconds to 8. Quick Cutter's damage duration has been moved up to 10 seconds on the bleed, and the bleed damage has been reduced to 1d6 per character level as opposed to 3d6 per character level, although you get this damage back as long as you invest in the tree. Overall, this is a very mild nerf to Quick Cutter, and it will still remain likely the highest damage ability in the entire game for many different builds. So overall, if you're like, oh no, is my build going to get destroyed? If no one told you Quick Cutter was nerfed, you might not even notice because of how overpowered it was. So again, generally it just means if you want to get the full power Quick Cutter, you do have to invest in the tree, which is a good standard to set for Epic Destinies. Things should upgrade as you move into the tree. They did it for Adrenaline, but they didn't do it for Quick Cutter, and now there's a bit of parity between the two. I would like to see in the future that SSG continues to buff up some of the Epic Strikes and make them feel as good as this Quick Cutter, because this is a much more balanced ability, and we'll see how that goes in the future. And then Unyielding Sentinel's Celestial Mandate now applies the Battle Guard effect. And if you're using a shield, it always applies 1 extra even if you miss, which is funny. So you can get 2 stacks right away. So big buff to Unyielding Sentinel. So overall, some good stuff. And then we have other changes. Mr. Ravenloft Expansion Bundle Item Vendor can now be found in the Hall of Heroes. Players that own Ultimate or Collector's Edition Mr. Ravenloft can now speak to this NPC to claim items from this expansion. Sure. Relentless Fixes. Helmed Horror can no longer fly, preventing issue where the enemy refused to return to the ground. The time taken is now available for runes. Mask of the Killer shows its correct appearance. The memory of animated objects from the life of the lifeless now has its correct description, which is good. So a bunch of bug fixes. Music and Threats Old and New plays properly. Oh, interesting. I didn't know the music was broken, so that's cool. Mad Tea Party has a bug fix. Grandmaster of Flowers Lotus Blade's Longbow now properly grants wisdom to attack portion of Zen Archery. I didn't know it didn't, but that's fair. I don't know anyone that's ever used this. The debuff from Minion of the Eldritch Dark Gift and its improved version now reduces spell crit damage by the correct amount. I don't know how much was it doing before. Swashbuckling's weapon requirements now list light weapons, where it was previously listed finessable, and tooltips to help avoid confusion. The Helm of the Warblade and its legendary versions now apply Crown of Summer. It took a year, but we got it. Took a year. All right. Enemy dodge piercing effects now bypass their correct amount of dodge. This is good. For those that don't know, the final boss of the raid Relentless had an amount of dodge bypass, but instead of dodging some of that, or bypassing some of the dodge, it was actually just bypassing all dodge. Bit of a bug. Hardcore Season 9 now has a leaderboard, and a few spawn a trap object effects in Double Rainbow have been replaced since the trap effects failed to initiate reliably. Cool. What's Double Rainbow? Is this Rainbow in the Dark? Or is there another quest called Double Rainbow I don't even know about? Oh, Shrotty Mantle. Sorry, I was like, what quest are you talking about? Duh, Shrotty Champion. Duh. Thank you guys. And while we're here, let's take a look at the actual Symphony of the Fae event. Oh yeah, overall, my thoughts on the patch notes. Really good patch. Huge changes. The finesse changes are going to make a lot of things a lot more fun. The feat changes are stuff that's a long time coming. I like the fact that they're going and gussying up some classic feats. That's really good. And a lot of these changes are good. I'm excited for Sacred Fist, and I might make a Sacred Fist build that actually focuses a lot on the healing element of it because it seems really interesting. And my Vanguard fighter, or my Vanguard Paladin, sorry, is going to love this change. So a lot of really, really good stuff here. So hopefully they keep it coming. All right. Next up, Symphony of the Fae. So here's some has been corrupted, causing blah, 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 blah. You can get the rewards. So how do you do this event? Number one, you travel to the House from Beyond in the harbor of Eberron. You talk to Yearsome, and you select whether to speak to the Winter Court representative or the Summer Court representative, and you pick up a loot, and it goes in your cosmetic shield slot. So this is the loot here. So it's going to go into your cosmetic shield slot. So if you can't use a cosmetic shield during this event, just so you know, you have to use like a regular, or if you have a shield, it's not going to override it. It's not going to be a visible cosmetic. It's just that's where you equip it because it's probably the least used cosmetic slot in the game. So how do you take part? When you have the loot equipped in your cosmetic shield slot, you'll encounter musical notes of different colors while adventuring throughout the quests and wilderness areas. So again, you have to have the loot equipped, and then you will see things. If you don't, let's say you're playing and you don't want to deal with this event, you can just take the loot off, and now all of a sudden you won't see these magical notes. So you can turn it on and off at command by having the loot equipped or not equipped. Most motes will randomly appear while you adventure. Each color gives you a clue as to its difficulty. You decide whether and when to face the encounter. So if you're somebody who is playing a lower power build and you can't deal with it, you will be able to choose, you go, oh, I can do one color, but I can't do another one. So you can just avoid the ones you can't do and still progress through the event. So when ready, you click your loot to unlock the note and face its encounter. The musical notes will disappear if you don't use them. So if you walk away, you can't just like come back. So if you have to shrine first, you might miss out on the loot, for example. If you beat it, it'll add to your loot's durability, which is how you unlock the different rewards. And there are 2 sets of 5 loots. One loot does not have a level gating mechanism. The other loot's required to be at least a certain level to progress them. So again, there's gonna be different ones that are dependent on the levels. They said that they made it this time, so you can progress as you go. So you should like grab one loot, and then by 10 it should be done, and then you get another one, and then by like maybe 20 it should be done. You grab another one, it's done by 30, that sort of thing. And here is an example of the musical notes that they have here. And then mote color. So green, easy. Blue, medium. Purple, hard. So you get to choose. Also, allegedly, there are 4th motes that you can find, but these are hidden throughout the entire game. So each loot, this is what they said. I don't know if it's going to be noted here. Each loot, there's 5 of them. So there's 5 different cosmetic rewards. I'm assuming we'll see pictures of them. Maybe the mount is one of the things you can get. Each loot has 1 note somewhere. Okay, and you'll have to find them in the game. Someone data mined the special modes and posted it as a spoiler already. Awesome. Anyways, hopefully that is a decoy and not the real thing, but we'll see. That's really disappointing. But anyways, there are special motes that you find. Each one is going to basically give you a large amount of progress, and it only corresponds to one thing. So let's say there is a mote here. We'll use like one of these quests as an example, right? So I don't know where this is, but let's say it's like Ravenloft Wilderness here. If there's one that's kind of chilling, oh, this is Wrath of Earth, right? So we're in Wrath of Earth here. So if I'm in Wrath of Earth, let's say there's one note that just spawns here, and that's the special golden one. It's only going to correspond to one of the loots. So you have to have the loot to then get the specific one. So keep that in mind. Anyways, so now you have the 2 options, Winter or Summer Court. So take up your journey by speaking to the Summer Court representative in Hawthorne to have an easier Symphony of the Fae experience with fewer restrictions. If you're a dedicated adventurer up for a particularly hardcore challenge, speak to the Winter Court representative, Baroness Hilda. So I'm going to try to explain this in the short order. If you are with the Summer Court, okay, you can have a... if you're with the Summer Court, it means that you are able to pick up the loot at any level. So let's say you don't want to have to make a new character. You don't have to do anything. You like playing your characters that are existing. The Summer Court loots, all 5 of them, can be picked up at any level. So you just take your main character, level 34, you go to the summer court guy, you do whatever the intro thing is, so they teach you what's going on, you pick up all the 5 loots, and you can just unlock them all on that character. The summer court loots can be done on any character at any time. Some of them will have restrictions, so some of them will be like, you must be at least, you know, level 10 or level 20 to be able to equip that one or gain progress, but you can do all of them on existing characters. The winter court, however, is a hardcore style event, which will give you loots that you can put on that give you a Vow of Glory buff, and they can only use items that drop during the event. Additionally, it'll only take characters that are level 1 that have no past lives. So as a result, if you want to do the Winter Court, which is the other event, you have to make a brand new character with no items and no nothing, and you can only equip gear that you find during the event. You can't use any of your old gear on that character. You can't have any past lives, anything like that. So it's meant to be like, sort of like starting a brand new character. As well, the Winter Court event and the Vow of Glory is only while you are alive. If you die, you lose your Winter Court progress. So your loot is gone and you got to start over again with a brand new character. Now, you still have all your items, so you could bank your items, make a new guy, and then put your items back on and keep going and trying to make progress again. But again, that is basically the idea there. It's meant to be a hardcore style system. So if you want to do the hardcore system, you can't reincarnate your character. You have to use a brand new one. However, this doesn't affect your ability to play with other players. So if you want, you can either make a group with you and your friends and everyone makes new characters and you play through. You can instead make a level 1 character and try to solo your way through the Vow of Glory and try to work all these cosmetics all on your own. Or if you have friends that just don't care about the hardcore thing, they could all reincarnate. You can join the TR group and just kind of walk around and get completion as long as you don't die. Again, it's entirely up to you how you want to engage with it. Some people might not like that, but again, they're kind of giving the flexibility to the players, so it's kind of up in the air. At least it's better than what they were thinking, or what I was thinking they were doing, because you do have to get specific new gear. So you can still take your level 34 characters, farm out new gear, and then give it to your lower level character if you wish. But for the most part, and I think what a lot of people are going to do, is just make a new character and level up and just have some fun. So again, we will see. Yes, Iconics is another thing. If your Iconic hasn't leveled, taken any XP, you can, at level 1, go and leave your area. So you're level 1, you don't level up. You can take your character to the Winter Court person and it cuts off your XP. And then you can start playing an Iconic at level 1. So when people have asked for years for the ability to play Iconics at level 1, now you can make an Iconic at level 1. You can't TR into one, but you can make a brand new one. So keep that in mind. There's also a Vow of Glory leaderboard. I don't know what the leaderboard is going to be recording. We'll have to see when we get in-game. And then helping Hearsome. Each game world will be collecting motes and we'll see Hearsome's condition improve. Once your game world has succeeded in bringing Hearsome out of danger, the entire game world will receive a buff for the remaining duration of the Symphony of the Fae event. So you get a buff for the entire server, which is pretty sick. So I love that. So keep that in mind. The buff, I don't know if they tell everybody what the buff is, so I'm not sure. But that's one of the reasons to engage with the event. Even if you're like, oh, does it really matter? The more people that turn in stuff, the more buff gives out to the entire server. The sooner you get the buff activated, it's going to last. The event is, I believe, for 3 months. So it'll last for everybody. And whether you're playing in the event or not, the entire game gets the buff. So we'll see. And then notes. In heroic difficulty, you can only claim a mote if you're closer than 3 levels over the quest. So you can't just over level it. So for example, if you're level 20, you can't go into level 4 quests and start trying to farm motes. It doesn't work. And then you can claim all 5 loots at once and then just have them equipped to have the benefits. And then note issues, some lower level items do not have their proper Winter Court iconography, but these items can still be equipped. Interesting. And then I assume that we have some rewards here. We have what looks like an outfit of some kind. We have the helmet here. We have a horse. We have wings. And we have what looks like some type of cosmetic horn or something. Maybe that comes with the helmet. I'm not sure. So completing the loot will reward you the cosmetic based on the loot you have completed. We have the cloak. I'm not going to lie. This is a nice cloak. That's a good one. All right. This is a good cloak. I like it. We have another cloak. So lesser cloak. Very exciting. We have another cloak. I'm assuming one of these is the hardcore one. I think this is probably the Winter Court one, which looks really, really nice. So, because this is the summer court. Yeah, this is 100% the summer court cloak, whereas this is 100% the winter court cloak. So, by the way, if you want this one, you're going to have to probably do the hardcore to get it. That's pretty cool. Additionally, players may discover sheets of music during the event that can be played if you're a bard or have a musical instrument equipped when you click the musical sheet in your hotbar. This music suppresses most music within certain range of you, but it'll be interrupted if not played during combat. Sure. I don't know what that means. See, the event, Fey event is through November 3rd, and the NPCs will remain available so you can get your rewards later. So we have the horns here. So you get horns with a little hat thing. We have cloaks, it looks like. The wings and the horse, if I had to guess. So hold on. Cloak, helmet, wings, horse. So that seems basically what we've got. So I think the outfit is actually just from Mithranor. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure it's just from Mithranor gear. But yes, that is the event. It starts November 19th, which is tomorrow as of time of recording. And so hopefully people are excited about some of this stuff. So get excited, have some fun, play the game, people. Assuming if you try to craft new gear with your fresh level 1 and accidentally use old mats from the bank, you'll be bounced from winter. We don't know how crafting works. I think they said they said something along the lines of like, if it was created after the event started, you should be fine. I can't remember. There was a big post about it. Can we get butterfly wings? These are a different type of butterfly wings. The ones we can get are blue and purple. These are like monarch butterfly wings. It's a different color. So yes. Scrolls and wands, they're only equipped for a second. Maybe they can still be used with the vow. I think you just have to get new ones. I don't think it's going to be that complicated. I think you just get new items. I'm curious how they will work with crafting gear like Borderlands ingots. I think they said as long as it's made during the event. So that's the general rule, is they said during the event. So there's that. And there was one thing I wanted to talk about where it is disappointing that the information has already been spoiled for where the locations are and stuff. It's just kind of disappointing. It is up to SSG to protect that information, so hopefully that is like decoy information and it's not actually real, so when people investigate, it's not true and they hid the information somewhere in the game. But that's definitely some high-grade copium, because that is also how the what do you call it, the other event, the Illithid event happened, where there were places that were hidden all over the game, and people data mined it, and it kind of destroyed the integrity of the whole thing. Now, to be fair, it is not, it doesn't like, it's not going to destroy the event just because the information is known, but it does kind of put a big damper on things if the point is to have like a big treasure hunt for the entire player base. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing that like the whole searching element is just gone because it's posted. Some people will point out that you actually don't have to go and look up this information because you can just like, you just avoid it and just not look it up. Just don't look for the spoilers. The unfortunate reality to that is that's not how the internet works or how these things function, where if you want to avoid spoilers, you just don't see them, because as I mentioned before, or like for the previous event, I'm never going to look it up because I don't want to do that, but I'm a live streamer. So that means people are just going to come into my chat and they're just going to type it in and tell everybody. So that's something that is going to be happening for sure. So just bear in mind, if you're like, oh, can't you just avoid it? I literally can't, because people will just fly in here and there'll be hundreds of people looking at the channel, and then boom, they just whip into the chat because that's what they like to do. People will go and spread it and start posting it in other people's discords and sharing it in as many places as they can. It's probably gonna, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 hours it's already on on like the subreddit, it's already on the forums. So yeah, when the excuse is, oh, just don't look at it, that is not how, basically you cannot look at it if you don't use the internet and you just play the game. But yeah, stuff like that I just find kind of disappointing. Again, I understand it, and I'm also I do blame the people who are data mining and posting this information for public knowledge, because it's just spoiling the entire event. I kind of just don't love that. So yeah, I do think that there should be like some retribution for that. So yeah, if the people that did post it, I do think they should get banned from the forums and no longer be allowed to post there. That makes sense to me, because it is just directly spoiling it for other people. It's like, there was like the old joke of where it was like, oh yeah, Snape killed Dumbledore or something with like the book. I can't remember, one of the Harry Potter books, where like there'd be people like waiting in line to like buy some of these books, and then there are people like who already have the books walking past like yelling spoilers at them. It's that exact same sort of mentality. If you want to data mine and look up the information for yourself because you are curious and you want to know and you don't want to have to figure it out, you can do that and then go search the game and get your things and walk away, because it's not going to affect other people's gameplay. But posting that for everybody and kind of like ruining the surprise is just disappointing. And I don't understand what people's motivation is to exactly do that. But, you know, it's what some people choose to do with their time. So, you know, and we're on the internet. You can't really control that. One of the secret modes is on Hearsom's right butt cheek. No way, dude. That's crazy. But yeah, like I said, I do understand why some people think that it's not a big deal because you don't have to look for it. But as somebody said, it was on the official release post. So if you want to know what people are thinking about the event the day before it goes live, and so you scroll through reading people's comments and you get spoiled, that's not really fair. And yes, those people should be forum banned. They're not responsible enough to have access to the public in that capacity. So I do agree with that sentiment. They should get a permaban from the forums. Again, if they want to share it with their friends in their own publics or small spaces and Discords or whatever, but like, yeah, just no. Get out of here. That's ridiculous. It's decorum, man. Anyways, TLDR, the event is probably going to be fun, and we will be playing through it. I have to make builds now. Again, I'm not also, and bear in mind, the reason I keep saying forum banned is I don't think they should be game banned. I'm not saying people shouldn't be allowed to play the game just because they did something shitty, but like, if you prove that you can't communicate with others in a positive fashion, then you shouldn't be allowed to. And so, yeah, those people should get forum banned. Specifically forum banned. I'm not saying anybody should get game banned for spoiling some stuff. It's like, what's whatever. Yeah, the event starts tomorrow, by the way. Anyway, yeah, cool, sweet, sick, dude. I have to make some build guides. What do we do here? I'm curious if those posts already got banned. Let's find out. I'm not going to put it all on stream, but I am curious. If it's still there. Okay, if it was posted, it looks like it was... Looks like they clipped it already. Anyway. Oh, also something that's important, and I also want to some sort of build guide with a section all about hardcore, maybe. I want to say something that's clear about the event. And like my personal opinions about the fact that this is being told to us literally the day before the event is happening. And why I think this also affects you as well. So SSG has the worst marketing department in the planet. I don't understand them at all. They are perplexing. They do everything wrong all the time. I just don't get it. It's like, or they like nobody's working there. I don't know. This does affect you as a player because like, if people don't know about the event and people aren't excited about these things, like that means SSG is spending money on events. And then as a result, they're not going to get as much traction as they otherwise could because they're not marketing anything properly. And that affects all the players because that means fewer people are logging in. You have to now do a lot of the legwork of like telling your friends, like word of mouth, hey, did you hear about this? You should come play. Hey, did you hear about this? And they just kind of don't do any build up. And that negatively impacts the game because you get fewer people knowing about stuff, and having less players and less people interested and less people talking about it is not good. So yeah, I just, you know, I am confused by it, and it just kind of makes me sad. That's all. Do I think people should boycott the event? No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody should not play this event if they want to. I think that, like, I'm not going to boycott the event. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to play it because I'm a, you know, like many of you, I'm a gamer. I just want to play the game and have fun. But it's not going to stop me from being critical and not understanding it. I just don't understand it at all. It's completely baffling and confusing. We should put Stream Palm on stage at more PAX events. Yeah, basically. I have no idea. Like, listen, I know I'm throwing some direct shade at the marketing department for SSG and whoever is like setting this stuff up. I 100% think what I said is correct. I've never seen a game company with worse marketing than DDO. I don't understand it. It's like literally the worst of any game I've ever seen. But yeah, hopefully I do get hired for future events. That'd be kind of cool. Because bear in mind, I was paid by SSG to do the PAX event. They paid me money, so. 2 weeks notice requirement for PTO, yeah. Boycotting the event could send them a message. No, but here's the thing, Rachel, that you have to understand, is that people don't have to boycott the event because people don't know about the event. You're like, oh, we could boycott it. There's no boycott. People aren't going to play because they don't know. People are boycotting the event by the virtue of, like, they didn't send anything out. They didn't send out an email letting people know, hey, by the way, we have a huge event coming that we spent a year talking up. They talked about the Symphony of the Fae event last year. We knew this event was coming like so long ago. It's like so confusing. Boycott the event, don't buy the free event. Exactly, yeah. It's like it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm gonna be honest. I am as I said before, I'm just frustrated. I don't understand it. And yeah, I think the event is going to be fun. So I will be playing it tomorrow and I will be streaming it. So, you know, we'll do something. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to figure that out. I want to put out a guide video or a series of guide videos, but I am just currently unmotivated because I'm kind of frustrated. So yeah, we'll see. Lunge is bad as it is after all these years. Staff lunge is as bad. What do you mean staff lunge? I don't understand what that means. New class today. Can't wait to see squads. Oh, sorry. I got confused because I was talking about the marketing department and then you said staff lunge. And I'm like, staff lounge? Staff lunch? What are you talking about? And then I understood that it was Thief Acrobat because I was talking about a different type of staff. I'm with you. I'm here. I made it. I got to the event. Lag has improved. Did they ever announce what the issue was? Yes, they did. Well, it's been several issues, so it's not like a issue, right? So that's a bit of a misnomer. So just to make sure that it's like, it's not like one thing. There is no like secret to lag and where it comes from and how it's been going. But they've done a lot of things over time. So number one, they changed how hirelings perceived the game, which had a major impact on the game. They changed several different projectiles and different types of abilities. So that's one of the reasons why like repeating crossbow expanded clip only does 33% and a lot of like other behind the scenes things. Another major change that they did, and this is the most recent one, which is very substantial. So I'll try my best to explain it. Basically, adventure zones used to load the entire adventure zone whenever you would step into it and all of the monsters, and now it loads it in blocks. So, for example, if you step outside of the Blood and the Vine Tavern into the Ravenloft Adventure Zone, it only loads the area outside of the Blood and the Vine Tavern, so just that small little square, and not the huge massive map and all the monsters. Previously, the game would load the huge massive map and all the monsters every time you stepped into that area. So when you would go from, you leave into the Mist and load all of Ravenloft, then you go into House of, or Death House, Ravenloft goes away. Then you leave, reloading all of Ravenloft, and you go to Fresh Baked Dreams. And then when you leave Fresh Baked Dreams, you reload all of Ravenloft. And so those basically loading the entire game multiple times in all these different adventure zones was causing a huge problem. So they changed it to only load in chunks. So not only loads areas around where your character is. And so as a result, if you think about how many people, not even like, I'm not even talking about Slayer groups, just how many people literally do Ravenloft every day. There's probably like at least 50 or 60 Ravenloft groups every day. So between every single quest, we have to load Ravenloft and the thousands of monsters in it for every group like 12 times. Right? Same thing with COGs, same things with everything else, where all of a sudden there's all of these loading and unloading of all these extra monsters. Now it's all partitioned throughout these spaces, so that doesn't happen anymore. Some of you might be wondering, okay, yeah, but sure, but how could this have gone on for so long? How could this have been the problem? Number one, I don't think a lot of people had this loading problem on their bingo card of like having stuff load and deload. I don't think people had that on their bingo card. It's like, this is what was causing the problem. And number two, bear in mind, DDO was designed at a time where adventure zones consisted of, like, the entire game on launch had the waterworks, a very small space, the steam tunnels, a very small space, Sorrow Dusk Island, the biggest area in the game, and which, by the way, has like maybe 100 monsters total, which also is segmented into small areas that only load when you enter them, because there's the caves, and Threnal, which again has not even 100 monsters total, and there are caves that are extra instances inside. So that's all the monsters in the game, right? That's all they had. So as they added more adventure spaces, it's just one of the things where they just didn't have the tech to do the partitioning, because it wasn't really relevant, and now it's become a bigger issue. And my understanding is that they discovered this was a problem a long time ago, but it just takes a while to refactor how the whole game is going to work, and a lot of testing to make sure that stuff isn't crashing. So hopefully that has answered your question, Chief G-Man. That's the most recent change that has made a massive impact on the game. However, they are still working on it and still trying to fix stuff. Anyway. Yeah, Slayers. Also, fun fact about Slayers that's really cool. I just want to spread the word. You don't have to reset Slayers. So when you go out into the Feywild, as an example, okay? And by the way, for anyone wondering about how the lag is going, DDO right now is the smoothest I've ever experienced it in my entire life. I've been playing DDO since the beta in 2005. DDO has never been as smooth as it is right now. Never. So hopefully, you get to have that smooth experience as well. If you've been meaning to come back, it is a good time, especially with the event happening tomorrow. But what was I going to say? Yeah, the areas, like I said, the loading is just, it's very different. It's nice. It's good. Also, it's the quest code as well, so it's a good time to like get people back into it. Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's good. Some good changes to the game. Trying to think if there's anything else. There was something else I wanted to mention, but I'm like spacing on it now. Oh well, it's probably not, if it was important, I would have mentioned it. But yeah, that's basically it. That is the main important thing there. Oh yeah, adventure zones, they respawn. I forgot to mention this. Okay, this is really important. If you're doing Slayers, okay, so let's say you're out there, you're doing Ravenloft Slayers, or you're doing Necro Slayers, you don't have to respawn the zone. Okay, so if you're in a group and people are like, yo, reset, if you just keep walking, the monsters, because the chunks of the map are deloading, so new chunks are loading, which means if you go in a circle, you will keep killing monsters. So you don't have to reset areas. So you can go and do Ravenloft with all 7,500 monsters. You can go and do Orchard Slayers with all 7,500 monsters. It was very laggy. So airships and people logging in now trying to abuse a bug in airship instance sharing resources. Are you talking about the legendary dreadnought snapshotting bug? Is that why airships are laggy? Please don't tell me that's why airships are laggy. Because if that is the case, airships are the few places in the game that are still laggy, but honestly, it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, airships are still unfortunately quite laggy, but it is what it is. Not telling you doesn't make it not true. What? Accidentally fell off it. That's okay. You just land in the water and have a nice swim. Rogues need a revamp and an archetype. I hope that it will get improved. Well, rogues have gotten improved. With this patch, it's pretty massive, but they'll be getting some more stuff in the future. But this patch has done a lot to help out rogue. But yeah, it's exciting. Well, I'm gonna try to get a video out of some guides to play before the weekend for what people should do. So for their hardcore builds. Oh, but I don't feel like doing it right now. Wondering why they don't have a list of prizes. I don't know. But yeah, I don't feel like doing it right now. In fact, I'm mildly bummed out. So first, I'm going to share something that I'm very proud of. Because it's something that I care about a lot. So I'm going to share this with you guys. Dance for a streamer, man? No, no dancing. I'm going to show you guys something that I'm personally very proud of. That means a lot to me. So you guys already know what's happening because of the noises. But many of you don't care, but I'm in Path of Exile right now, and the reason why I'm proud of what's happening here is because I've done all 40 challenges this Path of Exile League, so all of them are done, and that includes the hard challenges. So that's like the Juice Jamboree, doing the maps with the high quantity, as well as doing the Uber bosses and stuff. This is really hard. It's very easy for many. Okay, it's very easy for many. And if you want, you can like look up a build guide and just follow a guide on using the best stuff in the game and go buy the stuff and do whatever. For me personally, I don't do that. I like to come up with my own builds. And so I just like to work on stuff on my own. And so I made my summon skeletons and mages build. So I summon all these skeletal mages, and they all have different elements, and they kind of blast and they do damage, which is really, really cool. Yeah, it's been a blast. Oh, how did I manage 7 out of 6 challenges? It's because you have to complete 6 of these maps, and I did 7 of them because I was helping other people. But yeah, so I'm very happy with this. It took a long time to get through, but yeah, I'm done all 40 challenges. And so now, as a result, I have my little trophies here from all the different leagues. And so my new one is right up here. I did do this previously in Affliction League. I got all 40 challenges. However, I don't count Affliction League. And the reason I don't count Affliction League is because Affliction League was really dumb. It was the weirdest, dumbest league ever, where basically everyone had an infinite amount of money and you could get any item in the game, and that makes the end game a lot easier. So here, I'm happy, I'm proud of myself, and this was a really good time. If you're interested in my Path of Exile character, and if you want to try it for yourself, my gear is like, I wouldn't say it's not expensive. I would say in total, my gear is probably like 60 divines at this point, because I've upgraded it over and over. Next challenge, SSF, maybe. But you can do it for cheaper. I just made some upgrades to help some friends, because I carried people through the Ubers. So yeah, you're a dad. This is much better. No way, dude. Anyways, I just want to share that. This is something I'm really excited about. And then the second thing that I did is I wasted all of my money, and I made a new character. So I'm just going to show this off real quick because this is funny. hideout. So this is my new character, Buff Barb, but woman. And the idea behind this character is that I am designed to give out buffs with shouts. So I do this. And by shouting constantly, I'm handing out buffs to all my allies that give them a disgusting amount of damage and regen. And that's all I do. So me and some of my friends are going to be playing in a group build where we're all working together. So I have this person here who's an aura bot, and they're giving me a whole bunch of these auras. So I have like all my defenses are maxed out. And yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing that. So we're going to be playing as a group of, I think, 5 or 6 of us and doing some group farming. And it's going to be an awesome time. So we have, I'm the shouter. So I shout, I literally just shout constantly, giving all these shout buffs. We have one aura bot here. We have a curse bot, so who applies insane powerful curses to everybody. And then we have a carry who does all the damage. And then we have one person who's the color who does no damage, but they have an ability called Culling Strike, where when an enemy gets below 10% health, they instantly die. And the reason why the color exists is because with 5 players or 6 players, the monsters have a near infinite amount of health. So you need the carry to chip them down. And then when they get close to dying, because they have so much health, the color finishes them off. So the color is wearing nothing but rarity and quantity gear. So every time they find anything, so like regular players don't have any rarity or quantity. So for example, on like my actual character that I play, yeah, like all this stuff where it's like all rarity, all quantity, stuff like that, 100 rarity. Yeah, it's full magic find, exactly. So for example, my main character that I was playing that I ran for the majority of the league, that I ran myself, I had 24 magic find, and the person in my party, I believe they have like 500 or 600 magic find. So hopefully we'll get some cool items and it will be a lot of fun. But yeah, I just want to share that because I'm really proud of this and it should be a good time. Am I going to stream the multiplayer run? If that's something that people might find interesting, I might share some of it. But it's going to destroy my computer, so I have to be really careful. When you have monsters in really high quantities that are not dying because they have a lot of health, and then you have all of the people in the group have like literally like 50 attacks per second and a lot of projectiles, it might ignite my computer generally. In Affliction League, which is where I had the infinite amount of money and I got the other totem, I also did a lot of group play in that league, and it was very common to crash the game because you had just so many things spawning and appearing and all the projectiles. The game would crash pretty regularly. And even better than crashing, so much loot appeared on the ground that you needed a really restrictive loot filter that only let through a few items, because if you didn't have that, there would be so much loot on the ground. If you pressed the button that disabled your loot filter and showed you all the items, your game would crash because it would be too much to load. There'd be too many physical items on the ground. The game would crash from trying to look at them. It would be like if DDO had like if there were so many remnants in an area that it covered the entire floor. So yeah, helped out others who really did your milestone. Yes, my favorite part about that, Cyrus, was the where I helped with the Uber Maven, where during the Uber Maven fight I got to the last phase of Maven, and during the or after the first game, what do you call it, the memory game, I was like, okay, everybody step in. I finished the memory game for the last one, and then all my friends stepped in, and Maven, 4 people stepped in, so Maven got 5 times the hit points. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that the health was dynamic in Ubers, so she got to 5 times health. So then I had to beat 5 times health Uber Maven, and it was my first time ever fighting Uber Maven, so that was fun. So yeah. But overall, it was a good time. The only one I couldn't do was Uber Cyrus for everybody, because that boss sucks. There's a reason why you can run Uber Cyrus for like 30 chaos. Everybody hates it. But yeah. Anyways, I am really unmotivated to work on the builds, unfortunately, for the new Fae event. I'm kind of perturbed. So I think that's it. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. What's the DPS going to be on the team? So yeah, so I think I'm done for the day. I'm just like not in the mood to stream. I'm kind of pissed off. So the DPS on the team is, I don't know what he does. He's a juggernaut and he's armor stacking. So he's going to have 57 billion DPS. Yeah, it's 50 billion damage is the armor stacker. So that'll be fun. I don't do any damage. In fact, my character can't even go on its own. The color is Kinetic Blast with like 800 projectiles, and yeah. What am I gonna play? By the way, I am gonna make a series of builds specifically for this event, and trying to include as much of the new stuff as possible. But I'm just gonna let that kind of simmer for a bit. I need to take some time. Why frustrated? Oh, the new Fae event was announced for tomorrow, so we have 20 hours heads up. And I'm agitated because as a content creator, I want to make content about new events and new things that are coming up. But like, it's a really bullshit expectation that SSG gets to know when their event is coming up. And then instead of doing any fucking marketing at all, literally, they don't send out a fucking email. They don't send anything out. They don't even tell any of the content creators. They started the DDO content creator program to then not tell the content creators that this is happening. So like, I could have taken time on the weekend to like make the build guides or something like that, but now instead the expectation is, oh, cool, well, we'll just announce it, and then the people that make content will just like, I'll just stay up all night and work on it all night, so that way it'll be ready for the morning. Like, that's stupid and dumb, and it makes me angry, and this is a complaint I've had for years and years and years. It's a multi-year problem. I have had this issue. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was really hoping that the DDO content creator program was going to kind of finally eliminate this problem where SSG would be like, oh, we have literally a vehicle where we can tell our content creators when things are happening. We can have a way to just directly inform people, and they just refuse to do that. So anyway, I'm agitated, so I am done for today. Because also the thing is, like, even though I could keep streaming, as I said, I'm in a bad mood, so I want to just like step away for a bit. So I'm going to be doing that. So yes. So again, I apologize for that. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the event. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to have fun. I'm not saying don't play the event. It's going to be fun, but like, come on now, guys. So yeah, we'll get through it. To be fair, today did have the short stream title at the top of the stream. So I was planning on stopping the stream in about an hour anyway, but so I'm stopping the stream an hour earlier. Anyways, we're gonna raid Brackert because he's raided me a bunch and I haven't raided him recently. Yeah, you can pre-make characters. Yeah, true, you can. Every time I stream. Thank you for checking for cheese. I'm gonna eat some roast beef, and like I said, I am gonna work on the build guides. By the way, I'm just like, I don't want to be on camera because I'd rather just plug in the music and be pissed off. So yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. Take care. Enjoy yourself. Drive safe. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye. I don't know what this is. It was on my desk. I just grabbed it. So, yeah. And don't worry, guys. I'm not upset at any of you. It's all of my anger is directed at SSG. Anyway. Raw. All right, we raided Brackart, so that's good. And then what's the purpose of this Monk Dark Apostate? Junior. The point of this Monk Dark Apostate is that this is my last Dampier life, and I was told to, or not told, I asked chat what I should play, and someone in chat said you should play a Falconer, and someone else in chat said you should play a Dampier Dark Apostate, and someone else in chat said you should play a Dampier Monk, and I was like, you know what? I will. So I decided to do all three of these things. So I did a Dampier, Dark Apostate, Monk, Falconer. So this character is going to be using the falconry tree as the main tree. This is going to be the main tree for this character. So I'm going to be going up here for falconry, so it'll be the main thing. I'm going to be getting like death from above and all that other stuff, so I'll have the instant kills. And then I'm also going to be a Dark Apostate because I get War Domain, which gives me access to critical threat range and multiplier. And then I'm a Dampier, which is kind of cool. And I'm a Monk because I get quarterstaff bonuses and stuff. Oh, and also, it looks like I forgot to take Clear Your Mind. I forgot to actually use it. So literally, I'm just doing it because I needed a build idea, and people came up with a good one. So I thought it'd be fun. Because, like, that way I get to please everybody. one person wants a monk, and one person wanted a dark apostate, and one person wanted a falconer. And I'm like, you know what? We're doing all of it. Anyways, I am still ending the live stream. So thank you guys for watching. See you later. And expect a new video from me tomorrow about the Fae event, as well as in the patch notes, as well as some more build stuff coming soon. Anyways, bye-bye.